I think with or without Trent Williams and Ricky Pearsall, this is a game the Eagles have to expect to win. Pittsburgh can kind of muddy it up, and they have a ton of experience.
You use the air fryer.
So what about tea? I do tea in the morning and tea at night.
You make it a tea
In the microwave? Air
You
fryer.
don't have a kettle?
Come on,
You
man.
don't have a kettle, bro? That whistles when it's ready?
No,
Some eggs?
Jacksonville, man. They're just such a fucking wagon right now. You can give us the weather on every game, Macon. So what's the weather?
Go rain!
Yeah. Wild card weekend, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Wicked wow.
It's okay. How do we feel? Are we excited?
Yeah, I got some ideas for you.
What's your idea for me?
You should get a sponsorship
Yeah.
with Hoka
Why? Because I wear Hokas a lot?
because you're going to be walking.
To fucking no, don't you do this too. I don't think I'm gonna be walking. I am worried about that game.
You're going to be like DK
I'm fucking worried about that
You're going to
game.
be like goddamn DK Metcalf. 2 weeks of rest. He might be, imagine if you got 2 weeks before the playoffs of rest and with the money you had, the type of rehab you could have been doing.
That's true.
Your hyperbaric chamber.
It's like an extra big chamber.
Right. You might
Like way over the top.
You might
This is way too much chamber.
You might sneak out the country, go get your blood spun,
Yeah.
all that rich
Yep.
athlete stuff.
Yep.
Like think about what 2 weeks of recovery like how much you can do when you're not allowed in the facility.
No,
just
it's
on
crazy.
your own time.
You could also play a lot of video games.
Yeah, maybe, but
I don't think he's done. I think
No.
he's raring to go.
me too.
And honestly, he makes
He's
me
gonna
nervous.
have 10 targets and 3 catches, bro. He was just starting to finally get a connection with A-Raj, you know?
Yeah.
And then he got booted. He's gonna have 10 targets, 3 catches, like 22 yards. It's gonna be hilarious.
Reed, what was the thing you had a joke on Monday about holy water and the flood?
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Water. Yeah, I just put up some random video.
That's what. Yeah.
From the college football game.
That's what I'm a little bit worried about, is that the holy water is going to affect this game Monday night. I'm like, it's
Do you have to walk across the country if they win one game?
no, but everybody's making it seem that way. And like, honestly, I can't sleep well at night. You can give us the weather on every game, Macon. So what's the weather?
Go rain!
Yeah. Win this one.
Yeah, I think they.
That's a little bit dude, okay. That's the problem. You know these games where you're like coming into it, you're like, a week ago, if you were like, hey, Houston and Pittsburgh, it's Houston. But after what I saw the other night and also the reminder that when you win the division, you get the home game, and I don't know.
And the real feel
And
in Pittsburgh.
and it's the very sharp play this week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was the sharp play Sunday night. What's the real feel on Monday?
Monday night, high of 36, low of 26
We're fine. What?
Ooh.
for that
yeah,
indoor
that's
ball
nothing.
club.
No, okay, but last year, okay, we're doing weather right now. Let's start with the weather. You do around the league weather report.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going backwards. So Monday night, it's going to be cold. I say big whoop. I think I don't think it matters. Somebody said that the Texans are 1-4. I saw some statistic where they don't win a lot in low temperature games. The last 2 they had were the Kansas City games last year, and it didn't look like the cold affected them. They just got beat. You know what I mean? It's not like Miami going to pick your cold weather stadium and laying an egg and being less physical. It's just they weren't that good. And honestly, I was impressed with the way they played in the playoffs last year.
So you're going to be fine.
So next,
So you don't think the Texans are going to be afraid of the long arm of the law?
I think everybody's afraid of the long arm of the law right now. Long arm of the law, he's firing that fucking pigskin. I'll put it that way. He really is. All right, so we're going to start Saturday. Let's start Saturday. You can give us the weather on every game, Macon. So what's the weather?
Go rain!
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, it is going to rain.
It is.
In Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's raining.
That's
Hey,
no good.
No. For who?
For Matt Stafford?
I don't know if it's good for anybody.
I think so. You see Rico Dowdle posted?
What did he post?
He posted this funny meme from oh my god.
What are we posting? Memes?
Yeah, Paid in Full. And
Macon loves that one.
It was very, very convincing that he's written to go.
He's what?
He's written to go.
Oh, okay.
Like he's gonna have a big game.
He's raring to go.
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dowdle memes are hey, you know what? There's a lot of metrics I trust going to the playoffs, but Dowdle memes posted, that's up there.
Right now we're 48 hours out, but it'll be 69 degrees in Charlotte, 50%
Easy.
rain.
I have written here pissing rain. I feel like it's going to be a pissing rain situation.
That's a good meme for you.
I know that because we basically
I don't know that the sun has ever shone down on Bank of America Stadium.
Yeah,
It's always gray.
couple Tampa
That's funny, though.
rainstorms,
Yeah,
right?
just a gray stadium.
no,
was
but
that-
like it's going to rain a lot here Sunday.
Ever
It's
since you got ejected, that's the only time I can picture sun shining in that stadium.
was when I got ejected.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it honestly it looks like Gotham City a little bit because the stadium's so movie extra stadium. It's like the stadium that every movie shot at. It's just a big concrete
Yep.
stadium.
Create a stadium.
Yes, it's the baseline creative stadium.
Is Carolina like the East Coast, like Seattle? Like it rains.
No.
a lot. But it rains a lot. Like during
No,
the
East
season.
Coast Seattle would be like
Pittsburgh.
Bangor, Maine.
Well, I mean, football like cities, like for like.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
a
feel
good
like
question. Where does it rain the most
because I have
on the
that
East
like.
Coast?
Was it Cam Newton's first start? I played in that game, the Jags we played against, and it was torrential downpour.
You played in Cam Newton's first start?
Yeah, when he won that crazy game.
No way.
Yeah, that
What were your
picture-
impressions of him?
I have a picture. I thought like I had him dead to rights on a sack,
Yeah.
like holding on to him, grabbing, and while pulling him down, it was like one of those things. Like halfway down,
He's
he
just
still was able to like throw the ball
Yeah.
out of bounds.
Turned out to be a
Right?
strong guy.
But
He's so fucking big.
but it was raining so hard at one point during this game that there was like no one. There was no one in the stands.
Yeah.
because everyone was like up under.
Yeah.
And I remember Josh Scobie had to get on one of our O linemen's like shoulders to get into the locker room because everyone was walking into the locker room and the water was up past your ankles.
What, so Josh Scobie can't get wet because he's a kicker?
Kicker, like he didn't want to
Oh,
get.
that's
he
interesting.
didn't want to get his cleats. So,
Oh, that's fucking funny. I've never heard something
that could
like
help
that.
the ball.
But
that could
I
help
just
you
feel
strike
like
the ball, though. Maybe
every time, I feel like every year when you're watching the Carolina play, like they always have these torrential downpour games during the season.
Well,
Stuff like that.
you're going to get some fucking rain, so you better get ready for it. And I thought Bryce did a pretty good job throwing the ball last week with the rain. You know, like he had the one pick you want back. He wasn't the only one who threw a pick in that game. But I thought, honestly, just being as unbiased as I can be, I have not seen it to where I look at him and say, oh, he can't throw a wet ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it wouldn't make me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, handling the football is going to be a problem for both these teams, right? And when you come to a game like this, Carolina won that first game because of turnovers. You know, it wasn't just turnovers. We're going to comment on time of possession, which was pretty good in this game as well. I think it was 35-25. But you talk about coming into a game like this, you're going to get Sean McVay all week saying, take care of the football. We know what happened last week. It's going to be one of those things like where Bill Belichick used to squirt water on the footballs during practice out of the Gatorade bottles, just to annoy people, just to be on them about, hey, we've got to take care of it because that's the only way they're going to beat us. That and fourth down conversions, money downs, they were big in those spots.
The new, do we know the effects of rain and wet for the new kickballs? Because aren't there new balls now that come in for the kicking like this year?
I do not
wonder-
know. I do.
I
Do we?
wonder
Do
if-
we know? Anybody know the
I
effects of
think
the?
they can rotate them out. I think so. Like that's the whole thing. You can bring in a kicking ball for each.
But supposedly,
kicking,
like I know, but
scenario.
like, isn't like you're allowed to have a ball? It's like different material this year for kicking. It's like specifically like every team has like a different type of ball. I don't know if it's different.
This is a blind.
They just have a
spot for
bag
me.
of kicking balls. I'm pretty sure. So my understanding of it, and if anybody has a better understanding, please correct me. But my understanding is that you can just swap the ball out before. It's like, let's say you're going to hit a field goal or even a PAT. You can get one of the kicking balls, which is. But if that one's wet, you know,
Yeah.
You got to keep it dry.
Yeah.
You got to
Gotta
keep
keep
it
it dry.
covered. You got to keep it, under a tarp. This morning I had to tarp a bunch of firewood. It's the same thing. You got to keep that kicking ball tarped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is going to be a wet ball game, and, I think it's a time possession game. I think for the Rams, ideally, they'd like to go on long drives. They'd like to go on long drives. They'd like to pound the football. Ferguson was a DNP Wednesday. I don't know what he was today or if we have that information, but, how much they like 13 personnel, a lot of tight ends on the field. And the way I look at it is if they go on these long drives and they can actually score the football, you put a lot of pressure on Carolina. If Carolina sits there for 6-7 minutes and they find themselves down 7-0 to start the game against a Rams team like this, and it's part of the reason if I'm the Rams, I'm going to take the football. I'm not kicking the football. I'm going to take the football. I got to trust the fact that I have playoff experience. I'm Sean McVay. I have Matt Stafford. Devontae Adams is going to be back. If we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, we can get a lead and dictate the terms of this game. Then it becomes more one-dimensional for the Panthers, who ran the ball well in the first game. And again, the key to that football game was converting on money downs. And what goes up must come down. That's got to be your thought process if you're like a Rams fan, which is that, listen, they converted at a clip that just is not sustainable. And so, if you can get them in these situations, imagine you're Carolina, you get the ball with 8.5 minutes left in the first quarter, you go 3 and out. Things get scary. So I think longer drives and put the pressure on Carolina to convert, which they did in the first matchup, but I don't know. And we always talk about the run game with the Rams. This is your time to cash in that superpower of having an elite offense, throwing the football, and running the football. There's not a lot of offenses like that in the NFL. In the screen game being big, make people tackle in the rain. I think the one thing I wanted to highlight with this game is the Rams defense is getting back maybe one of the most important players that we've been missing the second half of the season, and that's Quentin Lake. And he's not a household name, but we talk about him often on this show. The Rams defense has not looked the same the second half of the season. I think a lot of people are enamored with, hey, the offense has been sputtering, or they're in a close game with Arizona, or there was a bunch of turnovers on Monday night with Atlanta. But, the defense has not been the same the second half of the season, especially the back end, right? So, and there's you got a really good front four that you can win with 4, but, I've never loved the corners. I think they're fine, but Quentin Lake was the real strength of this defense in the back end, and he's obviously your nickel, and that's a big position in this defense. It's a big position in any defense, but in a Chris Shula defense, it's important. And I pulled some numbers here: 4.6 yards per play allowed with Quentin Lake on the field. That's 7th in the NFL. 5.1. It's only a half yard, but you dip down to 16th. EPA goes from 6th to 12th. Explosive pass rate goes from 3rd to 16th. Without him on the field, 16th. Screen success rate goes from 2nd to 8th. Passing success, targeting slot, 6th to 18th. So that I don't want to just say it could be a number of things. It could be opponent strength. It could be, something schematic that people are onto. But I think sometimes is, what Occam's razor means.
The simplest explanation is often the truest.
There you go. I think in this situation, you're missing one of your best players, and it's such an important position. So I think the Rams defense is going to be out to prove that we're way better than the group that we trotted out the past 4 to 6 weeks to finish the season. You remember they lost him, I think, in the Seattle game. The first Seattle game, was that when they lost him? So this is one. And then the other thing to keep, I got this, I forget where I saw this, but I didn't do this research. 10th worst team by DVOA to make the playoffs in history.
Wow.
So I mean, ironically, a lot of those teams actually won outright if you look back at it. But 10th worst team by DVOA to make the playoffs in history. It's one of those things. But again, I go back to remembering when, we were in the NFC West and we were playing for a playoff spot in 2010 with Sam Bradford as the quarterback. We ended up 7-9. So did the Seahawks, but the Seahawks made it, and they're one of those teams, I believe. And that, of course, is beast mode. I don't know if they have anything like Marshawn Lynch, up their sleeve, but they won that game outright. And so I see this being an LA spot. You know, I think the line got a little big. Me and Macon talked about that on the gambling show.
10.5 right now in favor of the Rams. The Panthers will be the 7th team with a record of 500 or worse to host a wild card game. Those Seahawks that you mentioned were one of them. And of those previous 6, 4 of them won the contest. Seattle, the 2008 Chargers, who beat the Colts. The Tim Tebow Broncos beat the Steelers. That's today, Thursday the 8th, the anniversary of it.
How many years ago was that? Was that 2012 or something?
2012. 2011 season, 12 playoffs.
Dude, I remember that. I watched it in New Orleans.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, dude, that was
when
a fun
he cocks
weekend.
that arm back and just takes 13 days for him to get back here
Tebow.
and just tosses a dart.
Yep.
And then also the last 2 teams that host a wild card game, they did lose. The 2020 Washington football team lost to the Bucs. That was Taylor Heineke running to
Which
the
actually ended up being a pretty good game.
That was a great game. And then the 2022 Buccaneers lost to the Cowboys.
Wow.
Double-digit favorites, however, in the wild card round are 12-1 straight up.
Are they?
10-3 against the spread.
Are they 10-3 against the spread?
Yeah.
And Carolina has had 8 wins as an underdog this season. So it's right up
And they
there.
go every other week.
They do. They
This
do
would be
go
an
every
on
other week. Yeah.
They got a
And as much as they won last week, they lost.
Mm-hmm.
So but this is if Carolina wins this game.
Oh man.
No, I'm not walking anywhere because I love Bryce Young and everything. But this would flip the whole thing on its head, because if Carolina won this game, the Eagles suddenly, who's hosting Carolina in the second round? Because I think the Packers are going to beat the Bears. Spoiler alert. There's a universe where the Eagles look up and they're like, damn, we got to beat like Carolina.
Correct.
And then we're going to Seattle, 1 game from the Super Bowl. Like, this could flip the whole thing, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. I really don't. Yeah. I think Carolina's a year early, man. Like, they're a year early. Not saying you should be happy to be here. Do they have a chance to beat this team? Fuck yeah. They beat the Rams less than 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. But I think the Rams are going to tell you that we are not turning the ball over again the way we did in that first football game. And again, you got to be willing. And here's the thing that makes it hard on 3rd and 4 when you're facing the Panthers right now is like, if you get in one of your exotic pressures or you line up in a sim pressure type thing, and so you end up with a soft 3 technique because he's dropping out into coverage, Carolina will run the football in these situations, because it's 4 down territory for them. So I look at this as being, hey, how you coach these money downs. Hello, Chris Shula, Dave Canales. I think that is the game within the game here, because I think McVay and Avero's going to throw a lot of different looks at you. They're going to play zone coverage. They're going to wait for you to make a mistake. They're not going to give it to you in one play if they can help it. And the Rams are going to try to pound the football and move it down the field. The way the game swings is in these money downs for Carolina.
Some notes on the injury front. So, Chris, you mentioned obviously getting Quentin Lake back is huge. We also have Devontae Adams back offensively. And then Terrence Ferguson is currently listed as questionable, but that shouldn't affect their 13 personnel usage. It's one of the deepest tight end rooms in the league with Higbee, Davis Allen, and Parkinson. So either way, they'll be able to get into those 13 personnel.
You can't throw to Davis Allen as much, but you can definitely use those guys on the field. I mean, Ferguson a little bit in the receiving game, if the way I look at it, but you're definitely going to lead with the big fellas. This is going to be a pound it football game for these guys. Pound it, play action. And they got to protect, and honestly, they got to feel like they can protect. I like some of the young rushers for Carolina. I love Derek Brown, but it's not a group that scares you. It really isn't. So it comes down to turnovers. It's like Scorton when he puts his hand on Sam Darnold's elbow and forces a fumble. Like, those are the types of plays it's going to take. Just so we know what to expect in this football game. The Panthers aren't going to line up and beat these guys without forcing turnovers or being money on the money downs.
Carolina's starting behind the 8 ball with the silver lid, black jersey, and black pant.
Silver lid, black jersey. Ooh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I don't hate it.
What's wrong with this?
You should have silver
I don't hate
pants.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be silver pants.
Nah, I always want black
Pants
pants.
gotta match the lid.
If I'm a big guy, I mean, I get what you're saying, Nolan, but I'm always wanting black pants.
But
I just saw you.
Silver pants in the rain is revealing, isn't it?
Is it revealing?
Isn't it a little bit?
It's good for some of us. You know.
I mean, yeah, maybe if your name is like Matt Khalil.
Yo, that's the rumor. Matt Khalil wanted silver pants all the time. That's a wild fucking rumor, is that
He's
not?
getting sued, right?
No, he's doing the suing.
Yeah, right. That's what
Is he suing his ex-wife for saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate power move
Yep.
in so many ways. Like, man, you shouldn't air it out. I'd hate to draw more attention
Yeah.
to the fact that
Talk
I
about
have an
that a little
enormous
bit.
hog.
Oh,
But let's do
man.
litigation.
All these
Yeah.
all
Let's
these
go.
documents are going to come to light in court during discovery.
Yeah,
Darn it.
let's go to Discovery.
Because she's probably making mad bread clip farming, just talking about that shit.
That's insane, dude. Your Honor, that yes, that is my piece. I don't like talking about it, but
it's 2 Coke cans, not 3, Your Honor. Let me show you.
that's insane too. What a big win for like an interior lineman too.
Yeah. I went to high school with her, actually.
I didn't
Fun
mean
fact.
that
Weather Girl Highway.
towards you. You took a minute to like nod yes. You were like, yeah, I don't know how I should. But I just
No,
mean
that's a
like
big win for a
O
lineman,
line
for sure.
guys generally. Not that we're indexing, but I've seen some hide and seek being played in locker rooms.
Buttons and fur coats, as they say.
Oh yeah. you know the Monopoly thimble. You know a thimble. You know what that is?
It's sewing, right?
Yeah, seen a couple.
We better be
athletes.
careful. We're about to get sued by him too. Sheesh.
No, I'm gonna get a class action lawsuit by all the alignment
Yeah.
in the NFL. Wait, Reed, talking dicks is just
Cows
too much
loves a
for you,
little
huh?
dick.
Buttons and fur
Uh-huh.
coats.
Oh my god, yo. Easy on the oysters, guys. Easy.
This is the opposite of the oysters.
Yeah, what are you talking about? There's nothing gay about talking about another man's piece, Nate.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey,
glad
the
we're not
Panthers
live.
have a -8 pass rate over expectation, meaning that they run the ball a heck of a lot more than expected.
Yeah.
Uh,
Pass rate over expectation.
yeah,
So they run the ball more than expected.
yeah, because like minus throwing the ball, like hey, we expect you to pass.
Oh.
and then -8
Oh, okay.
of that.
Oh,
one of those-
-8 pass
My
under expected.
yes,
Under expected
Under
is
the-
the way they should
yes,
describe that,
yeah,
in
yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
That's one of those
You see what the
next-gen
fuck I'm
stats.
saying?
Yeah, like a double negative.
Yeah, it's a double negative. So they actually are running, and this is what I'm talking about in third down and in situations like it.
Yeah, you're on. Hey, as a defense, if you're in the meeting rooms and everything, and hey, we know this stat. What do you keep that in the back of your minds on the
Yeah,
line?
certainly. I think you're looking at formations and you're saying, hey, what do they like to, and then you got to get into your little, how do I get ahead? And Beau's got different ones than me because he's inside, but like I'm looking at tackle stance, I'm looking at, alignment of a back, I'm looking at depth of a back, obviously down in distance if you're doing your studying. But I think like a lot of what you have to do is on the fly in this game because play action is going to be your opportunity to get some of these big hits, some of these big plays. You think about like, hey, if they're going to boot out Matt, if they're going to turn his back to defense, who's the guy that can transition quickly? And Dotson hasn't played in a couple weeks now. I don't know what Dotson's injury designation is right now, but if he doesn't play,
He's out.
he's out.
He's out this week. Yep.
So that
Third straight week.
that's not a small deal. I mean, he's an important player for them. And you think about, hey, if I can, as a 3 technique, get a good beat on play action pass, I got the shortest distance to the quarterback. And oftentimes it's the hardest hit, too, is when, Matt Stafford turns his back to defense and all of a sudden turns around, holy shit, there's Derek Brown. But you got to have a good beat on play action pass. So I think that,
Yeah.
we're not sitting there going, oh, we're not going to rush the passer.
Right.
I think what slows you down more often is an athletic quarterback, and how you rush Bryce is relevant because he is kind of shifty and everything like that. But more than anything, if you get in certain downs and distances against personnel groupings, you're gonna get coaches screaming. What the word used to be for us, Beau? Rabbit or
Army. Army was a big one for Army and Air Force. I feel like what we always did. Army run, Air Force pass. We got Rabbit run. Is that what you're talking about?
It was rabbit and something else.
I feel like it was like a bird or something.
Was it? Yeah, rabbit run.
That's-
Rabbit run. Yeah, I can't remember the other
I
one.
mean, it's different on every team, man. They might leave their like their base personnel. They might not put their turbo package in. You know what I mean?
Right.
On like a third and intermediate 3, third and 4 to I don't know, third and 2 to 4 maybe. So like that can be give them a little more time in the pocket if they don't end up actually running the ball in that scenario.
And one of
just
the
game
things
within
is
the
like,
game.
yeah, if Poona Ford's not on the field, which that changes things a little bit. The Rams don't have the heaviest group in nickel, anyways. Even if they aren't running turbo, turbo being 4 defensive ends, and you make a really good point, Beau. I look at the Rams group and I think, yeah, you can run the ball on them on third and medium. If it's going to be Fisk and those guys inside, they're not like the biggest group of guys. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting one. Like third and mediums, we might run in this situation. Shit, you got to be ready all the time because you saw Seattle break the fucking Niners back last week doing 3rd and 17 draw plays. You got to be ready to fit these runs up no matter what. But it's a good question.
How do you all feel about any team rushing touchdown? Any team, anytime rushing touchdown for all 12 teams.
That they all score a rushing touchdown?
All score a rushing touchdown. Because you think about it, a lot of these teams have a little dual, like two-headed running backfield that seems to really help each team in the playoffs.
You're telling me both the Texans and Steelers have to score a touchdown?
I think the Texans might struggle to score a rushing touchdown in this game. I think the Texans might struggle to score a rushing. I think the Chargers are going to prefer to throw the ball down there.
I'm a nah on that one.
Yeah.
It is a lot of check marks.
If you like lighting money on fire, it will presumably wouldn't be much money. Watch it hit. Nate, what do you think about this one?
What are the odds?
I've been worried about the Patriots. Yeah, I'd probably take that just for shits and gigs, man. Run the ball in the playoffs,
Plus 17,000, I think.
Texans and
No,
Patriots
1,700.
are probably the Rams
Plus
are going to run
1,700.
it. Niners for sure.
If it was one
Eagles,
rushing touchdown per game,
Yeah.
anywhere in there,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
It's just one of those things you take it and call it, like the Patriots will just throw it, or people like the Rams.
Here's
they'll
the
just
deal.
Throw it from
Listen,
the 1 yard line.
And I think this is interesting. I saw a stat about outdoor unders. I read it on the other show, and I have it right here. But outdoor unders are hitting like crazy in the playoffs, right? Like in the wild card round. Outdoor unders, strong historical trend towards the total going under. Since 2004, outdoor wild card games are 49, 23, 68% to the under. And this success rate increases to 75% in games with a total of 41 points or higher. I think what's interesting in a rain game, I don't think a rain game makes the total go down. That's like, I think it's science. Wait till we talk about the Niners and that electrical fucking facility. We're going to be talking science. But what it does, though, outdoor rainy conditions, it's nerve-wracking for kickers. And it's the wet ball. Luckily in Carolina, for the kickers, that's turf. You could see it. It's the plant leg. It's the leg that you plant right before you boot the ball. That's often what makes you nervous in those rain game situations. So keep an eye on the surface there, even though it is turf.
The average over-under for this week in the wild card round is 45.6, which would be the second lowest mark in a wild card weekend since 2020.
Whew.
The second game on Saturday, we have the Packers at the Bears. Bears are getting a point. That is the Saturday night game at 8 p.m.
I think the Bears have had a fantastic year. I think they've got a franchise quarterback. I think Caleb Williams is the guy. I just think they're tired. I think eventually what goes up must come down. I think they won a lot of games in fortuitous situations for them, right? Lately, it hasn't happened the same way. And the defenses have been on the field. The defense has been on the field a lot for them the past 2 weeks. You think about the San Francisco game. You think about last week's game. I think the Packers in this game, I think Matt LaFleur has not forgotten about what Ben Johnson said. All right. And I feel like what's happened to the Packers the past month of the season, the last month of the season, and maybe I have a front row seat because they have fucking murdered me this year. The win total, the biggest slide of the year for me started with this matchup, the rubber match that ended with an onside kick bobble and all that stuff, and the 4th and goal thing, and and then it's the meltdown against the Ravens. I just think this team's already died, and not in a bad way. I don't think they're dead. I'm just saying they've already felt what it feels like to hit rock bottom, and I think they got a rest last week. Jordan Love, I'm telling you, he sat there on the sideline watching the game, and I know it was a shitty game, but he wasn't. He looked pissed off, and it wasn't. I think because the game was shitty. I think this guy's ready to take the fucking field again, and I think they feel like they owe this team one. When you hear inside an NFL building, Beau, you remember how, and Nate, you remember how this was? When you heard a coach say, hey, we owe these guys one. I feel like that's being said a lot in that building, and that's usually code for we're going to come out pissed off. And I know the elements favor the run game, but I've also heard Josh Jacobs this week talk about how fresh he feels, how healthy he feels. So I think this is the type of game where you're going to see some explosives from both teams. I think both quarterbacks can throw through the wind. I think both quarterbacks can throw through the weather. We might get a little snow. It's kind of which coordinators have the deeper bags, man, because you're getting 3 shots at each other. It's very interesting to me to see where the bags run out for these coordinators. And I got respect for all the coordinators, but this is Ben Johnson's first playoff game. And for the Packers, if you want to stop having to win on the road in the playoffs, you got to win your fucking division. Okay, and that's been the deal. I think they're 1-2 in Jordan Love's career. All those games have been on the road in the playoffs. So this is a game where I feel like Green Bay is going to be able to move the football. I don't know that Chicago's defense is as good as the sum of the parts has shown it to be this year. I mean, like, they've lived off a lot of turnovers. C.J. Gardner-Johnson got hurt last week. I don't know what his deal is. He's got what's his deal? Is he up or down?
He's out.
He's out. So
he is out this week. Yep.
This is I feel like a Green Bay spot. And I don't know, Matt LaFleur might be coaching for his job. There's rumors. I'm not saying I agree with the rumors, but there are rumors. Fuck, JPA's talking about it. It must be true.
Chicago has 6 wins after trailing in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. That is the most by any team in a season since the 1970 merger. Going to what you talked about, like,
Yeah,
living a little too close.
There's no safe way to play Chicago because they are capable of that, and that's a quarterback stat.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really do believe he plays his best football at the end of these games, and that's a reason if you're a Chicago fan to be excited about the future. I also think if you do it enough, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy when you play them, right? Like, it doesn't actually change anything in the game other than the fact that, like, it's happened and guys know it. And the minute, like, things start, if you got a 2-touchdown lead against this team or a 10-point lead and they scored a draw within 3 points 6 minutes ago in the game, we all know that feeling, being on a side on a bet or your favorite team is playing and it got a little close. On the sideline, it feels very palpable, and so I think that's a thing that is a weapon for Chicago, which is that we have shown that we're able to do this. And, like, just by doing that, it's in the other team's head. So Green Bay is going to have a strong fucking mental down the stretch in this game. If you get up a touchdown, you can't be thinking about, well, remember what happened last time or what they've done all year.
Think teams are going to be going for it on 4th down a lot, or are they going to trust their kickers in the playoff?
You're asking about all
just
teams?
In general, because we've seen a lot. I feel like this season, just moving forward in the NFL, like, we're seeing a lot more teams on 4th down in situations where you could just be like, take an easy 3 points or just kick the ball, that they're not doing it and going for it on 4th down. Do you think?
I think it kind of depends on the matchup. I mean, like, for sure, when we're going to talk about the Bills and Jacksonville, I think, for the Bills, they don't have a kicker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In some of these weather conditions, you might not want to line up the kicker and that sort of thing. But I think in a game like this, the last one was lower scoring, which was a little bit surprising.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I think maybe there's more scoring. And, if this game defines itself early as a game where it's hard to get stops, which I think it could be for both these teams, because Halfley pulled it out of his ass in that second game. I think he threw his best stuff at him. I'm a little curious to see, and how you rush Caleb Williams. We always talk about this is going to be paramount for these guys. You got to be careful with that. I can barely describe it. He turns his upfield shoulder towards you and bails out the back.
Yeah,
it's like a dead leg, and his vision to the ball hand rusher is so good. Those guys got to be, and it's about time to win a rush. It's about time to win a rush if you're Green Bay.
Caleb Williams, the percent pressured of his dropbacks that turned into sacks in 2024, he was at the bottom. He was 28.2%. That's 46 out of 47. He has improved that significantly this season. It's only 11%, fourth among 45. So that, so only 10%, 11% of his pressures are turning into sacks. So you really, to your point, you really have to get him down.
He's improved a lot, and he's also been more judicious about the times he's going to try to put the cape on. Yeah, man, you got to stop Chicago's run game, 100%. But it hasn't been the same down the stretch. I don't know what the reason is.
I got one thing for you, Chris. I'm with you on this. I think the Packers are a little bit of a sleeping dragon, so to speak, just because you forget about how good they were at certain points of the season. Like, they've had these injuries. Like, Jordan Love is out. Bears defense is low key really good at forcing turnovers. Like, they're the best team in the NFL at forcing turnovers. 18.2% of opposing drives have ended in takeaways. But if they don't capitalize off those points, they're 27th in points allowed per possession when they don't force a turnover, which is shitty, right? They're just ahead of the Jets and the Bengals, two terrible fucking organizations, frankly. So, you're talking about how this could be a high-scoring game. I could also see a situation in which, Chicago picks the ball off or whatever because Jordan Love has been out. He's just, not in his peak form entering the playoffs off of an injury. And then Chicago doesn't capitalize on it, which could create a kind of a situation where it's not as high scoring. Just something interesting.
I think Jaden Reed's huge in a game like this. Dennis Allen with the walked up, mugged up pressures, and everybody on the line of scrimmage and the key downs. I think it's a big get the ball to on the perimeter, your playmakers right now, whether it's a screen game or if it's a jet sweep or a little pop pass. How are you going to counter the aggressive nature of Dennis Allen in a football game like this, where you're going to try to manufacture pass rush? Both these teams honestly have to manufacture pass rush. When you look at a game, try to pick a game that could be real high scoring here. I'm not saying this is necessarily the one, but one thing you look at sometimes is where's the pass rush going to be? This is from a net pass rush standpoint, this is one of the games where there is the least. I think, Niners don't have much of it, but the Eagles have a ton of it. Chargers and Patriots, they're going to be able to rush the passer with Milton back. Houston, Pittsburgh, that's a fucking nightmare, right, to play quarterback in that game. This is a pretty quarterback-friendly football game, and it's a Saturday night game. I kind of feel like the NFL knows what it's doing. I feel like this game's going to have points, and I know the wind's going to be gusty, but I think both quarterbacks have the arms to throw through the wind.
Odunze's back for Caleb.
That's
a
big.
Week after Loveland got 13 targets.
Boy, they were just force-feeding him in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Force-feeding him. So, Evan Williams, again, I say this in any football game where the run factors in greatly, he's become one of the better safeties in the league. And I think in the run phase, he's pretty good. And so, late rotations coming down, joining the front. There's a lot of pullers. There's a lot of moving pieces. They have to be pretty surgical with their run fits, man. They do. So that's a big deal there. I mean, how that guy plays is big for them. And obviously the backer play is big when you play this team. The backer play is huge when you play the Chicago Bears.
Does it feel at all like a little bit of a, maybe not changing of the guard in the NFC North, but bringing it back down to even? Because the last few years, 2-3 years, the Lions have owned the division, maybe not owned the division, but they've been the team to beat. And now you have the Bears on this upward trajectory. You have the Packers that are in a really good spot, and obviously the Lions are at home.
Yes. It is. I mean, like, look at what the insertion of a coach like this can do in a division. I mean, like, just in 1 year. You know, there's a level of, again, their defense is not that talented. Their offense is talented, but I don't think from a personnel standpoint it's like a top 5 offense. I mean, I don't know if anybody would disagree, but what they've been able to do in just a year is a credit to Ben Johnson. And honestly, the hiring of Dennis Allen's been huge because we talked about it. Like, that's a credit to the coach that they're able to force turnovers, play above themselves. They don't have pass rush. They're still good on third down. So, I mean, this one's going to be fun, man. But I think it's a Packers spot. This holiday season, BetMGM is giving you the gift of another chance at first touchdown scores. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you cash your bet. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Like a little holiday bonus from us. Don't miss out on this festive offer. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT to enjoy up to a $1,500 new player offer on your first wager. BetMGM, make it legendary.
Duval. Bills at Jags on Sunday. It's the 1 p.m. game. We will be streaming this, so make sure you go peep out the Greenlight YouTube channel Sunday at 1 p.m. Jaguars are catching a point. Nate, does that make you nervous at all, catching a point?
No, I don't. I think I've been saying it. I just feel like the Jags, we're playing playoff football right now. I feel like we're tightening up in all the spots that we need to right now. And this game is going to be, I think, decided on if Josh Allen can put his Superman cape on. Because I think for the Jags, as long as Trevor Lawrence keeps playing the way he has been playing, not turning the ball over, and if we run the ball effectively like we have been doing, I think this is a game that we go in, and I've been saying to you guys, I think this is a 2-touchdown spot for the Jags. I know that might sound crazy, but we've been turning the ball over. We've been doing everything like really good on defense, and I feel like Josh Allen is a quarterback that he will give the ball up. He will try to do too much, and I feel like this year on defense, the Jags, we've been doing good at taking the ball off quarterbacks that have tried to do that. So
I'll give you the optimistic take because as the week gone on, I told you at the beginning of the week, I'm like, man, I don't feel good. I still don't feel good about it because in the event of a loss, me and Beau, by the way, Beau's going to be in town, are just going to be getting screamed at by you, and for 3 hours it's going to be hilarious and good content, but it's not going to be very fun for us. So am I nervous about the game? Absolutely. But honestly, it's not a game they can't win. And that, I know the Jags are better, but here are the facts. Like, the facts are I still believe Josh is, of any of the quarterbacks in the playoffs, the most accomplished, right? And besides Matt Stafford, who's got a damn Super Bowl, right? But I'm talking about in the AFC. There's some newcomers. There's some guys that have played better the last 8 weeks. Like Trevor Lawrence has been lights out. But, I just want to dispel the playoff myth that I think some people have about Josh and the Bills. In the games that they're 0-4, and thank you very much, Stanford Steve. He hit me with this stat earlier. I made sure to write it down. 27 points a game for that offense. So it really hasn't – we know this. I mean, if you watch ball, it hasn't been about the offense. I also think, statistically, Josh Allen's one of the best playoff quarterbacks in history. That's not hyperbole. It's not hyperbolic, Nate. It just is what it is. Now, in this team's current form, I'm actually more nervous because I do think what you're talking about is more prone to happen, where he tries to do too much, right? Yeah. Now, the one saving grace is this, and I've talked about this year before. The Kincaid thing is as real as anything in the playoffs. I was going through this earlier, and I asked in the group chat, I said, hey, who's the most important number one in the playoffs? Because, as Nolan pointed out, he is their number one. All right, JSN is probably the most important number one. DK Metcalf, because of the lack of weapons outside of him and how rough it can look against good man coverage. Hello, Houston, or whatever, like a defense like that can strap you up. I would say Kincaid's like third, the most indispensable number one, and the numbers bear that out. 23-5 with Kincaid, 4-5 without him. I went back and looked at it today, and I was actually surprised how much it syncs up. Kincaid missed the Falcons game. They were awful. The Texans game, they were awful. The Eagles game, they were awful. Left halfway through the Dolphins game where they were awful, although I will say that Dolphins game I put squarely on Josh. And I think he got dinged in the first Pats game, which they lost, but I thought they lost that game outright. But the variability with this offense without him on the field is huge. And, it is because your second best receiving tight end suddenly becomes Knox, who's not a primo receiving tight end. I don't care what anybody says, good player, but he's not like a primo receiving tight end. You obviously have Shakir outside. I think Cooks has come on and everything. I say all that to say this. The Bills are a lot better with him on the field, and I do think that is an area I think Jacksonville fans will tell you tight ends can get after us a little bit. Play action pass, if you get it going, can work. I do think the inside run game is going to work. I've looked at Jacksonville all year and said, hey, it's amazing what they've done defensively, but the interior defensive line personnel to me is not a world-beating group. Mm-hmm. And so if you
Chris, real quick, to your point about the Jags defense being weak against tight ends, they are 23rd in yards allowed against tight ends specifically, and 23rd in touchdowns allowed just against tight end. So all this stuff you're talking about with Kincaid is perfectly in line as, he's a weakness for them defense.
Now, here's what I worry about. To Nate's point, I don't know if they can score with Jacksonville. A lot of this to me is on like, hey, is 30 the magic number? I don't know what the magic number is, but it might be in the 30s. And, I worry about a game where if Jacksonville gets up in this game, and the pressure is like kind of bearing down on the Bills where you feel like you got to get it back in one play, and that's where they play stupid fucking football. Mm-hmm. And so Jacksonville being the home team, they're going to want to jump these guys. Listen, I actually think if you're going to tell me Jacksonville's just going to line up and run the ball the entire game and expect to win it without throwing the ball, I actually don't feel that bad about it because you can force them to go on long drives and try to tighten up in the red zone and that sort of thing. If I were Sean McDermott, I would make this a game that comes down to how does Trevor Lawrence handle the blitz. And I think he's done a pretty good job down the stretch, right? But I'm throwing the deepest stuff in my bag I can at him. And as good as they've been in the second half, I think this is a really big game in the middle of the field for guys like Cole Bishop. I know I mentioned him a lot. How do your linebackers handle things? Listen, you're outmatched. So to me, when I'm outmatched as a defense, I bring early pressure, try to put that offense in disadvantageous third down distances. So if it's second down, Sean gets a beat on when you're going to go play action, or their run blitzes try to knock you into 2nd and 13. I think how you handle the blitz on early downs is going to be big, and changing the picture behind the stuff. You're going to have to trick dick this team. You're not as good. You're just not as good. And on the other side of the football, obviously, it's Josh knowing when to put the cape on and knowing when not to. So, there's reason for optimism if you're the Bills, but I think the problem is like Jacksonville truly has nothing to lose. They have put themselves in that position. They've done such a good job this year of doing we're a small market team. Nobody likes us. Like that's a strategy. I've been on a team like in 17 where we did the underdog thing. Like it takes weight off the team. It does work. It puts pressure on the other team, and you don't even need to put more pressure on Josh in the Bills because every football fan with a fucking TV is waiting for him to lose and say, "See, he can't win in the playoffs." This was supposed to be the year that the runway was cleared, even though they know it's totally disingenuous to say because I don't think the team's that good.
Man.
So this is going to be a riot.
Be a tough off season for Josh, man.
I don't look at it that. What if you lose 30-28 in this game and you play well?
I'm just saying, for the internet warriors, they're going to be like, you lost to Trevor.
I know, but the internet.
That's you. You are an internet warrior, Facts. That's you. You're going to be the one saying
And
that.
you're one of the few with a job, dude. So, like,
Yeah.
for the most part, Josh and people don't have to worry about this shit. Like, I don't think anybody's like, but for the football team, I think when you look at it and you say, damn, if we were in a better place from a roster construction standpoint in a year like this year, and with all due respect to the Jags, the Broncos, you're in the dance with a bunch of quarterbacks that don't have the experience and a bunch of teams that maybe don't have the experience, right? So, it hasn't synced up for them, but if they can beat this team, I think either team that comes out of this is the favorite in the AFC.
Do you see that clip with the Bills coach? He was commending the Jags for grabbing Jacoby Myers. You think during that time he might have wanted to pick up Jacoby Myers because the Bills been needing another receiver all year.
Oh, maybe so. I think the Bills' bigger problem is the whole Darius Slay thing in the corner room because they had to fuck with their roster spots.
Yeah,
and they had to actually let go of guys that they might have needed.
He just never went.
He just said, "No, I'm not playing there." That's like one of the all-time like. How does that?
Yeah. I
mean,
I can understand
you're on
doing
top
that
of the
to an organization like Jacksonville, but to do that in Buffalo is something.
That's crazy. But the personnel transactions,
Yeah,
man,
it was
like,
crazy.
have you seen that before?
No. So what happened was the Bills were anticipating being able to claim Slay off waivers, so they released Jamarcus Ingram to clear a spot for him. Slay decides not to play, and then Houston claimed Ingram. So I don't know. In some situations, there's a little bit of an unwritten rule between the teams of like, hey, everybody knows what everybody's doing. So you kind of, maybe Houston could have stayed hands off there, but you play to win the game. So
all's fair in love and war. I remember when I was a kid, I had a girlfriend, and one of my buddies, I think I broke up with her. One of my buddies was like pushing up on her. I was like, really, dude? Like the week after? And he goes, all's fair in love and war. What kind of a fucking 12-year-old says that? Are you kidding me?
12, huh?
13, I don't know, whatever. No, okay. I can't say what he turned out to be. I'll give it away.
Okay.
Did he turn out to be a realtor / podcaster?
No, it wasn't Macon. It wasn't Macon. All's fair in love and war. Like, what are your parents, novelists? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Do you guys see any issue with this graphic here put together by the Buffalo Bills social team?
What's Jacksonville wearing?
White, blue, blue. When they're wearing white, blue.
You got
that's
it.
bad.
You got it.
That's really bad.
All right.
I can tell we're not on our fucking game in Buffalo this week.
However, the Bills are 7-0 when wearing blue breeches, and Jacksonville will be wearing black helmets, teal jerseys, teal pants.
So they're not wearing their old like
They're
Teal time.
They are not wearing the Prowlers.
Yikes.
Teal time, baby.
They look like a better
Put the black
football team than
pants
the
on.
Prowlers.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all gonna look good and replay.
This is going to look hideous.
when they win.
A few hours after Bears-Packers, this is going to look gross.
Here's the biggest thing in the game. I've said this all week. The Bills need to go on fourth because fucking Sean Payton, it depends on how the game turns out. If like all of a sudden you got a beat on these guys and Jacksonville's playing a little bit more human because to be honest, like Jacksonville hasn't played a ton of great teams the last 2 months.
You're the Bills. You win the toss. You taking it or kicking?
If I'm the Bills, I win the toss. I'm going to kick. I'm going to kick.
I feel like Jags win. We're taking the ball. We're trying to score.
I'm going to kick. I'm going to kick because there's nothing like a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got the quarterback
Yeah.
that can actually cash in on 2-for-1 at the end of the first half. I also think like, hey, both teams are going to be nervous. Jacksonville's going to be nervous too. Like, let them get the jitters out on offense. The worst thing could happen is the Bills come out. I also don't know how they feel about their game plan, but I would tend to kick in this situation. Here's the most important thing. Speaking of kicking, is your guy,
Yes.
Cam Little,
Love it.
fucking Jacksonville. Who's
Weapon.
kicking for Buffalo this week?
Exactly. Weapon. We got a weapon.
So they signed Matthew Wright to the practice squad this week.
Oh,
As
great.
of right
Good
now,
player.
Matt Prater's limited. Matt Prater, he said he's pretty confident he'll be ready to go for Sunday. But just for some context on Matthew Wright. His resume reads as follows: Steelers 19, Tampa Bay Vipers 20, Steelers 20, Lions 21, Jags 21, 3 teams in 2022, 4 teams, 5 teams in 23, 4 teams in 24, 4 teams in 25. This is his 5th team in 25. So
Sounds like experience
suffice
to
to
me.
say, not a highly employable player.
Very employable.
What do you
No,
mean?
Most
he's been
employable.
employable a lot.
Yeah,
he's
super
fucking.
employable.
But he just not. He doesn't stay long. So he did kick in Jacksonville, yeah.
Yeah, back in
Well, he knows the stadium.
21.
You know, it's all about the. And I guess it's going to be warm, Nate, but not like
65.
not toasty, which would definitely favor the Jags. Would be toasty weather.
Well, the tricky thing about Jacksonville is
It's not the heat; it's the humidity.
It's the humidity.
You sounded so white right there.
I'm just saying, it really is. Like, you look at even if it's 70, you be like, oh, 70's not bad. And you go out there and you're dripping sweat, losing.
No, I
Oh, wait,
know.
hold on. So, you're saying it's not the heat, it's the humidity, Nate.
That's not real
I guess
feel, bro.
an alternate
Relax.
way. Oh, but it is. It is. That's real feel, baby. That's real
That
feel.
is real
All right,
feel,
cool.
dude.
Real feel is humidity?
Yes, it factors into the real feel.
Like,
Holy
okay.
shit!
You're saying
Macon's
it's not the
sitting
heat,
there like,
it's the
fuck,
humidity.
Nate.
It's the whole
Look,
thing.
look, Megan's sitting there like, fuck, Nate, you just walked us into this thing.
humidity.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, you just real feeled yourself.
No, I didn't. Humidity is a real thing that you look for.
Yeah, I know, but like it affects
right,
simpletons-
exactly.
It
These
affects how the
simpletons only
temperature
want to
feels.
look at one number. We are capable of factoring in humidity to something like temperature. All right? Bang, bang.
What?
Bang, bang.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about? There's no way. You just
bang.
real
You're taking
feel.
our point. You're
That's
just proving
crazy.
our point right now.
Making
No, ding dong.
gaslighting.
I'm calling you idiots. Y'all are idiots.
He's ridiculous.
We're
Takes one to
capable
know one.
God.
of incorporating multiple factors. Jack wagons, real feel.
Yeah,
What is-
yeah. Another thing is, Jacksonville might go tempo.
I love it. I love
Jacksonville
it.
like
should go
that. That's
tempo.
smart.
Yes.
Jacksonville
They
should
should.
go tempo
Yeah.
because Bill's got some big bad bodies on the field on first and second down. Man, I would keep the offense moving
That's what
down
I'm
the field, and especially you talk about humidity and all that stuff. Tempo, that's and the same thing for the Bills. Same thing for the Bills. If you're up for it, yeah, I'd love to have those two guys inside on the field on third down.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see I think Liam Cohen probably has stuff up his sleeve, just having the year that he has coaching, new coaches, he's shown that he kind of wants to get into his bag and show like, hey, I got the plays and I got the playbook to match up against anyone that's going to be excited. But one of the bigger exciting things for me as an ex-player from Jacksonville
Yeah.
is seeing that stadium not have the tarp over seats. When I played there, they never sold out games. Every game was blacked out. It was never shown on local TV. Selling no tickets, and they used to like huge sections in there. They used to put these tarps with a big Jaguars logo or a Everbank logo on there, so that to the untrained eye, you just think it's something that's part of the stadium.
Signage.
Yeah, you think it's part of the stadium, but it's really huge sections of seating being blocked so it doesn't look bad for the couple of TV stations that might be picking it up. So just to see the stadium full and everyone like Jags fans being excited, I think that.
But damn, how y'all gonna stay on that side? We've been believing since the beginning. We only had to put a fucking the world's biggest tarp over much of the stadium in the past.
We had to put tarps. We had to put a pool.
But do you
in.
see how that doesn't really square with like what I'm hearing?
That's what
from the
small
fan
market
base?
teams have to
Oh,
do, Chris.
yeah.
No,
you know?
honestly, you want to talk small market? You know who's the smallest market in this game? And they're just getting disrespected left and right. The Buffalo Bills,
the Bills?
the smallest market in the NFL. They're gonna out small market you, bro.
But here's the thing. With the small market, you keep bringing that. Sean Payton brought that shit up. We didn't. He started that, not us.
but Liam
we
Cohen-
responded.
you mentioned
All we
it.
did was
Liam Cohen went out of his way to be like,
"Hey,
oh.
keep my name out your mouth. Like, that's it, bro. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. You know?
I still think Saleh was a bad matchup.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a bad matchup for Cohen.
But we made him walk his stuff back too. Like, that might have been a match.
26-21. I remember the game.
It might have been a bad matchup, but Saleh after that game, he got up there, took his medicine, said, I didn't mean it like that.
I'm really glad you said that. Took his medicine. This might be the most important thing in the game. Are we giving out vitamin T, and how much are we giving out? Because if Josh's hoof is 50%, that affects his game.
Yeah.
Because I think Trevor's going to be able to get yards with his legs.
Yes.
And Josh has to be able to do the same thing. Now, the good thing for Jacksonville is they got zone eyes. They play zone. They keep things in front of them.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the one thing, we go back to this, hey, what do you do on 3rd and 4th down because you don't have a kicker? In these 4th down situations, you have to be ready for these mugged up looks where you get Devin Lloyd popping out and picking off Patrick Mahomes or whatever it is. You got to be ready. I've seen in some of those situations back to the flat fast. You get the desired outcome.
Don't try to run that stupid little sweep. Do they even have a wide receiver to run that quick sweep play? Because Trayvon Walker's
What's the quick sweep play?
Like set Hut to that wide receiver in motion.
Sweep?
Yeah, the jet sweep for those 1 or 2 yards.
You got a guy. His name's Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir.
Because Trayvon Walker's been shutting that shit down on 3rd and 4th down.
Look out, we got a wrinkle for that defense. For you on that one.
And look, the Jags were 3rd in the league. We're 3rd in the league with 222 QB pressures this year. We don't have a lot of
Hold on a minute, player. Not that fast, buddy.
It's not translating.
Not so fast.
It's not translating.
It's
not translating as of yet.
27th with
as of
32
yet.
sacks. Going up against
yet.
one of the hardest to sack quarterbacks, Nate.
I get it. I get it. But we all know.
I do think this is.
We all know pressure. If you keep getting pressure, at some point,
it's going to turn into sacks.
It's going to turn
into
sacks. Okay, I got you.
But I do want to say this. This is me being dead honest. I think one of the biggest advantages the Bills have in this game, and I don't think they have a ton of them, is Josh is going to have time.
Oh, yeah.
And when I look at the games that they perform really poorly, it's either, it's Atlanta creating pressure, with the blitzes. It's Houston in the 4 down. It's
the thing I like about
it's the Eagles because you don't have anybody who can get open outside because they got such good cover guys, and the rush is on top of you. The interior guys, like, I don't look at Jacksonville, and I got a lot of respect for those guys, but this isn't one of those units top to bottom.
And look,
not Jacksonville, bro.
No, they're not. And this is what I love about our coaching staff. I feel like they're self-aware, and I feel like Camp on defense, he hears that and he knows that. And I feel like there's going to be wrinkles. Maybe it's blitzing. Maybe it's something else. But I feel like he's going to find a way to try and generate some pressure.
No, he will.
What you call?
I think
it's going to be on guys to finish and make plays when they're there.
I think the cat and mouse game, Nolan. I don't know. I'm curious what you have to say about this. But like, if you're Camp, I think the run game is a factor. I think the inside run game is a factor. So if you're not going to load the box and commit bodies, I think the Bills are going to be able to run the football. If you do load the box and bring the bodies, that plays really well into what they're going to do in the passing game. That's
for sure.
That's kind of the way I look at it.
We talked about the tight ends in the passing game. That's obviously going to be a huge theme here. And Chris, you talked about what the Bills want to do in the passing game. They're the best play-action passing team in the league, first in success rate, especially when Kincaid's in the game. And that's a bit of a weak spot for Jacksonville, too. 22nd in the league in success rate allowed, 23rd in yards per play allowed versus play action. So I think that's something to watch, too. Especially if you're in max protection situations against blitz looks, they should be able to have success with that. So
there's a path. But Jacksonville, man, they're just such a fucking wagon right now. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. And the momentum thing going into the playoffs, the chip on our shoulder thing, nobody believed in us, including ourselves, because they used to have to tarp over half the stadium. That definitely plays.
You mentioned Jacksonville living in zone on defense.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is the second best quarterback when playing zone with a 71.7 QBR.
I'm not trying to stroke the guy here. I'm just telling you that the optimism would be, hey, zone coverage, cover 6, a lot of cover 6. The numbers bear out that they do a pretty good job against when they see cover 6, 2 and 4, right? It's it's half field coverage over here, half field coverage over here. And so I'm looking at it and saying, like, I think the dump downs are going to be big. Being able to break tackles, right? That's going to be big. And for both quarterbacks is running with the football. So
If Buffalo loses, is the head coach safe?
I don't think he necessarily is, but I don't know. Like, it's amazing to me the things that I hear, and I'm like, whoa, I would have had no idea. Like, I heard some shit today that I was shocked about. It's amazing what we think, and like I might say, hey, Sean, man, love Sean McDermott, but you can't whistle past an open window like this for the better part of 6 years and not get anything out of it. I also think the Harbaugh thing, Harbaugh is more hotly contested, like
Sought after
for his services than I think people realized. I think there's a few teams that the Miami thing's interesting. Okay, let's take a little like a coach hard turn here before we get to the next game, which is the Eagles and the Niners. The Mike McDaniel thing shocked me because they waited like a week. And part of it is like, did they see that somebody was suddenly available that they wanted to hire? Is Harbaugh that guy? I also think what's interesting about that is a lot of people are placing him there, at least on Dolphins Reddit, and it's like kind of a wishful thinking thing. Wouldn't it be something if he's like, yeah, I'll go to Miami. Lamar can't come to Miami.
No, that's what I was saying earlier. How great is that? How great would if he just kept fishing all the jobs that are the top spots if Lamar was trying to leave? Be like, oh yeah, you want to go there? How about I go get the job there first?
Which is hilarious. But I also don't think Lamar's leaving. I think when they make that decision, it's coach or quarterback. I think the decision's made. I think John Harbaugh, is so respected. And I got a lot of respect for the guy, man. Like the person, like everything they did there. He got let go because they didn't look like what they were accustomed to looking like for 20 years. Like their reputation was something totally different than the way they were playing. And not to mention the playoff kind of collapses and all that stuff. But he's so well respected. He finishes his career, and it's honestly it's a kick that gets him fired, right? And he walks the kicker in the locker room with his arm around him. Like that's something. There's something, man. Like he's a good dude, man. I hope he lands on his feet. I think he'd be perfect in Cleveland. I think he'd be great in Cleveland because Cleveland's it's a ground zero thing where you're starting over, right? Like,
and you got some pieces.
Yeah, you got a couple like fun pieces and all that stuff. I think New York likes him. So Harbaugh is going to be a commodity.
I think with Harbaugh, the coordinators become as important because he's a culture CEO type. He's not a tactician.
And that's the problem. That is the problem with hiring any guy that, whether you coach defense or you're a culture guy, special teams coach. In today's NFL, you have some success offensively, you're going to be replacing one. That's why the Mike McDonald thing, if you want to win a Super Bowl, do it right now. I'm not saying he can't down the line. He's a great coach. He'll be back in these games. But, like, if Clint Kubiak gets hired somewhere.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Not yet open.
Or Buffalo hires Mike McDaniel.
Where would you think he?
Detroit.
Detroit's the hot name.
Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be.
Would be awesome.
Any place
sense.
You have the bones of a run first outfit with a quarterback who can get the ball out quickly and distribute it like on time.
In the hypothetical you just laid out there, Chris, if Seattle loses Kubiak, then you get McDaniel coordinator situation in Seattle, which I think would be a great fit.
What about
the Irishman?
What about if McDaniel doesn't leave Florida and he just pops over to Tampa?
Man,
would that be
I am
interesting
so done
for-
with the Bucks, man.
Well, would that be because
They're not
is-
interested in winning.
But is there you've seen Dave Canales be an
Yeah.
OC there and then become a successful head coach? Liam Cohen just did it. Is that something that Mike McDaniel might take into consideration? Like, hey, I'm here with Todd Bowles.
Sure.
and
I
I've
mean,
got
yeah,
this great.
yeah. I mean, like for him, but if I could coach in Buffalo, coach Josh Allen, and with the Aaron Cromer run game. I mean, Joe Brady. I don't know that Joe Brady is going to be gone. We're just placing him random places. Like I don't know. It's a fun exercise.
Another place we were talking about the Commanders too. It'd be fun up there if he went there. Do you think the Commanders try to do a little trade for Devon Achane?
Well, here's the most interesting thing I heard today. Was Cliff Kingsbury back in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes because of Matt Nagy almost certainly being on the move and possibly being a Tennessee Titans guy or whatever it is. But the whole reunion with Cliff, I heard that rumor today and I lit up a little bit. So I don't know. It's a really interesting conversation.
Cliff in Kansas City, but you don't see Patrick until late 2026.
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
You kind of know you have some job security,
Right.
Because it's a Patrick hire.
Name your head coach's age. Ideal age for a head coach. You're a player. I want my coach to be
39.
43 years old.
I'll be down.
What was?
John Harbaugh's ought to be 64 years old.
I know, but there are guys with resumes who
I
it's like he
understand.
walks in the room and you respect the fuck out of him.
How old is
understand that.
Tomlin? And then how McVay is like what? Not even 40 yet, right?
McVay's younger than me, dude.
Tomlin is
Yeah,
crazy.
53.
Sean McVay's 39.
Yeah.
McDonald's not that old.
38.
38.
So,
Younger.
which is crazy,
Oh, wow.
man. It's crazy.
And
That's
Davis
a little
Webb
offensive.
Davis Webb, 31 years old. He's getting
about to be
interviews.
31, and he's getting head coaching looks.
Yeah.
Davis
Crazy.
Webb- Oh, how old is Kafka? 38 also, right? Or
Kafka's younger than me.
He's
38.
He played.
Shut the fuck
He
up.
played in
dude.
the All-Star game with me.
No way. Am I old?
Yeah,
Chill, Unc.
we're all
Chill,
old.
Unc.
No, I know, but like Cat. Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
Kafka,
July
Kafka
25th,
played in the
1987.
East-West Shrine game with me, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
Before quarterbacks were leaving when they were 25.
There's just an implied maturity, like when you're the head football coach on an NFL team, like which I don't think of myself as having. So when I look at some of these people, I'm like, yeah, that guy's older than me, more mature.
I don't know, man. Some of these head coaches are not mature. You see the little barbs they throw at each other, like the Ben Johnson, and like, I don't know, taking your shirt off after a game. I don't know.
You know, he's a
Are
pretty
they
mature
mature?
young man, D'Amico Ryans. He's pretty
That-
mature.
You know what? I agree with you there. I'm
You
not going to
played
argue
you played
with
in
that.
front of him. You know.
D'Amico,
He
41.
was he's been mature. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm like a child compared to him.
Ben Johnson, 39. All these
Yeah,
dudes-
I mean, I'm sure Ben Johnson goes home at night and he acts like a fucking 39-year-old. Okay.
If you guys were in John Harbaugh's shoes, how would you be thinking about this in terms of like looking at the available jobs? Like, for instance, would say a Tennessee where you've watched Cam Ward's tape this year, or a Raiders where they're going to have a number one overall pick, a quarterback, like, is that more attractive than, say, like Chris, you mentioned the Browns and like the pieces they have there, the shape of the roster? Like, how would you think about that?
So the first thing I would look at is what division am I in, right? Like, do I want to go to the AFC West? Like, nobody wants that Raiders job, in my opinion. Like, okay, you get the first quarterback pick in a weak quarterback draft. You're going to be implored to take a quarterback.
Cap
And
room.
if you don't like the quarterback, it's how long's your leash? The guy that just got a job there was fired in 1 year. I look at Tennessee as like, oh, this is kind of intriguing to me because I'm in the AFC South, right? Like, and as good as Houston is, like, you're not going to keep that defense together forever. CJ Stroud's a very good player. Indianapolis is fucked. They don't know which way's up now because they went for it. Who am I missing? The Jags are the Jags are a damn good football team.
Oh, in the
but
division.
but there's reason to believe. I know that some people probably think that Cam Ward is potentially the best guy in that division eventually. You know, like, and Cam Ward's the bird in hand. So if I'm looking at like Vegas or Tennessee, I'm looking at Tennessee, and I'm also looking at Borgonzi. Part of it is how do you feel about Spytech? How do you feel about Borgonzi? How do you feel about like Tom Brady making calls upstairs? We're just looking at these two situations. I think Atlanta's such a fun opportunity, man. I think Atlanta's got a lot of upside. I think the Giants have upside. So
But hasn't he said that he wants to bring his GM with him?
he wants to bring his GM. He wants to be in lockstep with the guy that he brings in. He wants to select his GM.
Okay.
Which is alignment's huge in today's NFL. That's huge, man. Like it's more for you to take a job where the GM's already. That's why the Giants' job's a little bit iffy.
Yeah, I think Nate, I think I kind of understand what you're getting at. And my answer is I feel like when you're John Harbaugh, he's kind of the belle of the ball of this coaching cycle, so he can make demands like that. You know what I mean? Or he can like kind of say like, "Hey,
Jesse Minter after this weekend."
He's taking, there's 15 jobs or whatever open. He's taking interviews with every fucking team. He can be pretty clear about what his demands are, what his requirements might be.
No, I understood it wrong. I thought the GM.
You thought DaCosta was with him,
like how Atlanta fired the GM and the head coach at the same time. I thought that's what happened in Baltimore.
I think Minter's going to be the belle of the ball. But yeah, no, Harbaugh immediately has a lot of. If you look at a list of, I think Stefanski's name's hotter than you realize internally because
that's a good point.
He's a known commodity, dude. Like I don't care if you have to understand they saddled him with Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Hey, here, enjoy."
Yeah.
Guy can't throw a football, and his head's on the 1,500 civil cases. He's cooked.
And you ain't got no money.
And you got no money, and we sold the farm for this guy.
Current head coach openings right now, we've got the Dolphins, Ravens, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Cardinals, Browns, Raiders. GM openings are Dolphins and Falcons.
The Ravens job, to me, has to be such a big name. Like, who fits the bill? Because, like, how many times does an MVP – how many times does an MVP quarterback see a coach change a year after he wins the MVP or quote unquote deserves to win the MVP? Like last year, he had an MVP performance in 24. So you're a year removed from that, and you're looking at a new coach. Like it can't be like who the fuck is that guy? Oh, he just knows Sean McVay. Like it can't be one of those things. There's a Ravens culture that's kind of like.
The Ravens did put in to interview Vance Joseph, the Broncos defensive coordinator, and Davis Webb, the Broncos quarterback coach.
Davis Webb.
For a head coaching position.
He might be great, Cowboy.
It could be interesting if Vance Joseph does get the job and then takes Davis Webb with him. Davis Webb does well enough and then is the top head coaching candidate of 2027.
Wow. I still like the Flores thing, but he might be too mean.
With all this stuff floating around, do we think that Phillip Rivers is really going to get a head coaching nod?
Are they talking like that?
Supposedly.
Well, fuck, they hired my boy Jeff Saturday.
They definitely did.
Maybe Phillip Rivers is the head coach next year if they get rid of Shane. They're not getting rid of Shane. Anyways, this is a totally fucked up deal.
Did you see the presser, Chris?
What?
The presser that Irsay, the daughter, what the fuck? Yeah,
Carly
that she
Irsay.
put on. She said Carly Irsay. Yeah, she said they're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The Rivers thing was that he was expected to get interviews, but I think it's an interesting thought. The interesting thought about like somebody like that is a player is gonna. This is a funny thing. Players have smaller egos than coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Phillip Rivers. He knows offense. He was basically calling the game out there when he was playing quarterback. His older noodle arm, he couldn't get the ball where he wanted it to go, but like he knew where the ball needed to go. He knew pre-snap where something like that. I'm kind of like, I know I was anti Jeff Saturday, but holy shit. Imagine Phillip Rivers putting together his super staff, you know, and leaning on people, having a nice assistant head coach, maybe like Chuck Pagano.
Or
Chuck-
Carly Ursay.
You know, yeah, or Carly Ursay. What's Chuck Pagano doing besides the McAfee show? What's he doing?
Nothing. That's it.
So imagine Phillip Rivers
I
comes to
thought
town.
he was an assistant with the
and
Ravens.
Look,
Is he with the Ravens?
Nobody knows.
and look, we're not thinking
Nobody
about
knows.
that.
Yeah, senior defensive assistant and secondary.
One in-
coach.
Well, he couldn't fix them.
Yeah.
You got to come back to Indy and be the guy that tells me what I need to do with the schedule, how to build out practices. How do I handle it when a guy misses curfew? I handle the offense. I put together a super team. I don't know. It sounds fun, but
Hey,
probably
you
not
think
gonna
it's
happen.
you think it was a one year stop for Robert Saleh? You think he gets maybe?
I hope
consideration
good
somewhere?
things happen to Robert Saleh, dude.
You think he might?
I hope good things happen to him.
I hear you.
Hey,
Me
man,
too.
everybody's interviewing Mike McCarthy, respectfully. I think Saleh's getting a job.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean,
Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale prohibited. Y'all know I'm a bit more selective with my nicotine pouches these days, so for me, the quality of the pouch is what I prioritize, which is why I'll pop in a Zone Wintergreen. 1, and I mean 1, 6 milligram is all I need. Whether I'm kicking back and watching ball on a Sunday floating on the river with Cowboy and the rest of the crew or breaking down film ahead of the show, Zone easily gets me locked in with its smooth feel and variety of flavors. Zone is always on our game day roster. Whether you like a fresh mint flavor, or you're into a citrus flavor, check out their roster of options and use promo code GL20 at nicokick.com/zone for 20% off at checkout. We got to talk about Niners and Eagles, man.
Uh-oh.
Hey, first things first. I think a lot of this, let me bust out my Goss meter
Yep.
so we can talk about the San Francisco injury chronicles.
This is like some comic book Marvel shit.
My favorite thing is like I sent this shit to Charlie earlier in the week and was like, man, this is fucking interesting. And then Beau sent it to me and was like, hey, this is very interesting. We should talk about it. And then Nate sent it to me and was like, hey, this is very interesting. We should talk about it. So we got to talk
It's pretty
about
interesting.
It, dude.
It is
Let
pretty.
me get my tinfoil hat on while we talk about this one.
So
you know?
basically, there's some guy with a Substack, which essentially is smart people have Substacks. So I trust you, bro. Whatever you're saying is true. And he shows up to to Levi's Stadium with a Gauss meter, which is basically something that tells you, how exposed you are to ELF, which is low frequency electricity,
electromagnetic field.
electromagnetic
Like
fields.
Get this
under a
weirdo off the
cell
property.
phone tower.
Yeah, dude.
What is he doing over there?
Honestly, I would think the guy had like a condition. If I saw somebody outside like doing readings on and I'd be like, don't worry about him. But this guy
Special
was
interest,
he
you know?
was writing for his Substack, and he's writing about chronic exposure to ELF magnetic fields, which I forget. I knew I should have wrote down what the acronym stood for. It's something with low frequency. So the average.
Extremely low frequency.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's cool to say ELF. You got to check out the ELF on the Levi's Stadium practice field. But their practice facility is right next to the stadium, which is right next to a damn Silicon Valley power station, right? So they're making electricity there. Average home, 0.5 to 3 milligauss flowing through your home at home. You know, like you got the internet on, you got lights, you have the whole thing.
When watch out about microwaves, all
Yeah, I
right?
know that's true. I microwave my soups. I gotta stop doing that.
Cancer.
Right?
Yes.
I gotta stop, don't I?
Correct.
Stop doing soups.
No. Keep
No.
doing the soups. You just put them in a pot and warm them up on the stove.
Yeah, why don't you have
But no microwave.
No
All
microwave.
air fryer?
right,
Eat it
I'm gonna
cold.
go home. Watch what I do tonight. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna unplug the microwave and throw it out the fucking window.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Meg's gonna go, "What the fuck are you doing?
No
Buy an
problem.
air fryer, bro. That's
Saving the
what
family."
Yes.
air
You're not
fryer.
gonna. You're trying to air fry soup.
Not soup. No, you do what Macon
Damn.
says for soup, but for everything else, you use it. Use the air fryer.
So what about
and
tea? I do
reheat.
tea in the morning and tea at night.
You make a tea
In a
on-
microwave?
Air
You
fryer.
don't have
Yeah.
a kettle.
Come on,
You
man.
don't have a kettle, bro. That whistles when it's ready.
No.
Make the tea in the air
Somebody
fryer.
give me a
bro.
kettle. Anyways, in your house, you average of 0.5 to 3 milligauss, which is just pretty standard shit. You don't even feel that. But on their practice field, adjacent to their practice field, there's a big field, and it's the same distance, probably equidistant to like the 50-yard line of their field to the. You see this shit here. So homeboy's walking around down on one of those public fields or on the edge of the public field, and he's getting 8.5 milligauss, which is obviously more than double the average household on the practice field. And he deduced that 100 yards closer, if you're in the facility, and I have no reason to not believe this guy, he's got a fucking Substack. Right? It's all these lawyers and scientists and shit. Okay. Just confuse the population with Substacks. You've got 13 to 21 milligauss on a normal day, even higher during peak grid demand. So, like, this is a problem if you are to believe that electricity ruptures Achilles and tears hamstrings and that sort of thing, because the games missed by San Francisco 49ers since they moved in this facility in 2014 has been far and away like overrepresented. I mean, they relative to the rest of the league. I was looking at a graph today.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's nuts. And honestly, it ticked up for the Niners, dude, between like 10 and 14 and then 14 and on. But then, you'll be glad to know that Pro Football Doc David Chow said electricity actually enhances cellular function, reduces inflammation, improves circulation, and helps cellular repair. So yeah, I don't know who to
Fred
believe.
Warner is
Blame
microwave.
CMC.
That's why Fred
Put my
Warner,
balls in a microwave.
Exactly.
Huh?
That's why Fred Warner's could be available the divisional round after getting injured early in the season. Usually that injury is all season, and now he could get.
Shouldn't they be called the Chargers?
That's what I was waiting for it. Fuck. They're charged up.
Does David Chow have a fucking Substack, bro? You want us to take you seriously? You need to write this out and put it behind like some sort of a paywall.
Since 2017, the 49ers have been top 10 in injury rate every season except for 2023. Compare that to the Eagles. 2022, the Eagles, every opening day starter played in the Super Bowl. 2024, 21 out of 22 starters played in the Super Bowl.
See?
And 2025, 21 out of 22 starters
This is a superpower
are
of
likely.
the Eagles, man.
Want to apologize to the athletic and strength and conditioning staff of the 49ers, because I felt like at the beginning of the year when all these guys
You were blaming
hurt,
them.
it was just like after so many people get hurt, you have to find someone or something
But it was
to blame.
it's this.
and it's fucking
EMF,
this
bro.
shit.
Depends on who you believe. We don't know for sure, but it was interesting to read about this. And like honestly, again, the game doesn't center around this. 'Cause I think with or without Trent Williams and Ricky Pearsall, this is a game the Eagles have to expect to win. Like if you are who you say you are, you're trying to go on a Super Bowl run. Like the Niners are a very good football team, but they play half of the ball, right? Like, and honestly, you got to like your matchup against their offense. But Trent Williams makes a big difference. And today, I thought gave out the under. I still think like early in the week I thought the magic number was like 24. Like in this game, I think it might be closer to 20. But the point is, like, without Trent, they wouldn't have had a fucking chance. With Trent, I think they can make it interesting. Rappaport was toying with the fact that maybe he was in doubt Sunday. They're 61-32 over Trent's career with Trent. Without him, 4-13. He's their Dalton Kincaid and then some. Right, a lot of people. Hey, who's the straw that stirs the drink? Is it CMC? Well, they got two straws. So I do think this game could be is the magic number 20? Is it 21? The Shanahan versus Fangio history has been well documented this week. There's been 4 games that they've seen each other, and in those games, the point totals for Shanahan-led offenses have not been great. I think you do factor in the quarterbacks that he's had, but is Purdy that much better than the other guys? I don't know. Garoppolo's in there somewhere. Needless to say, I think this is a well-coached football team coming into Philly. And so they're going to give you their best shot But the simple fact is, if the Eagles are who people say they have been all year, which is like, hey, just wait to the playoffs offensively, just wait to the playoffs. Hey, shoot, it could be like a couple years ago where they went to Tampa and played terrible on Monday night in that spot, but they have A.J. Brown in this game. Everybody's up. You just talked about how many people are healthy on the Eagles. The Eagles have one of the healthiest rosters in the league. They're rested. They made the decision, hey, we'll play the Niners. No problem. We're not worried about it. Oh, the Bears are losing that fucking game. We're not putting anybody in the game. We're just going to rest our quarterback because we've done this shit in the past. And so if they are going to turn the switch on, which, you know, it's reasonable to doubt that offensively because we haven't seen it consistently. But if they can turn the switch on, this is a defense you can work. And I know that the Niners held the Seahawks to 13 points last week and all that, but I really do think from a talent standpoint, the Eagles have a lot of it, and especially the injuries to San Francisco's backers. If San Francisco had Fred Warner and, you know, their linebacking core were healthy, even without Nick Bosa, I'd say, oh, you got a shot in this game. And they do. But that shit on defense, walking in, you feel like you're outmatched, but then you got linebackers down in this football game. This could be a big Dallas Goedert game. It should be a big game in the run game. You know, you rested those guys up front. Like, you're going to get their best performance. But if you don't get the wins outside, you know, if you don't get the one-on-one opportunities that if you don't get the long drives, if you don't have a consistent run game, if you're not working the middle of the field to Dallas Goedert, then yeah, we can have a lot of conversations in Philly about who's running the offense. I think those conversations might be had inevitably anyways with this team. And the quarterback, man, this is what he does. Like, this is his bread and butter. It's playoffs. So you got to earn that reputation year in and year out. And this is going to be a great opportunity for him against this defense because I think from a personnel standpoint, they got him. On the other side of the ball, I look at Cooper DeJean as kind of like the Swiss Army knife that you absolutely need in playing a Kyle Shanahan defense, right? I mean, obviously in coverage, he's great. And you talk about like having to get the ball to George Kittle and people like that, but also the run fits, man. Like, the Eagles have to be much better with the run fits. If they can play the run better than they did against Chicago, which I keep using as like a comparison schematically to what you might see, some of the concepts, some of the moving parts. If you can play the run game well and bottle up Brock Purdy's scrambles, I think you got a good shot in this game to keep the points lower. But I do feel like you cannot underestimate San Francisco's offense, and that's why I've said, as good as the Eagles' defense is, don't think it's going to be 14-13 like last week. It could be 21-17. It could be – but I'm saying the Eagles have to get to 20. That's the magic number for me. If the Eagles get to 20, I think they got a good chance of winning this football game.
What do you think Kyle Shanahan hates to see more?
Lane coming back.
Lane coming back?
That's a big one. What were you going to say?
Or a 7+ point deficit ending the fourth quarter, or Vic Fangio? Because
that's funny. Probably Vic Fangio, because at least like you have a chance.
Right,
He's
right.
never had a chance
in the fourth quarter. 1-39.
That's crazy. So the Eagles are going to want to play this game from ahead because your pass rush, the whole thing. Like, you got to also realize the Niners, they're coming in this stadium like, man, when we were here in the playoffs, like, they ran us out of here. They hurt our quarterback. All fair. Like, they didn't do anything dirty. They're going to have a chip on their shoulders. So I don't think this is going to be a pushover type game. But what I am saying is the Eagles are the better team. They're the better football team. The Niners are going to be pissed off. They're going to feel like, hey, we owe them one. Again, that whole thing. And I
over under the number of Dougies that Brock Purdy will do.
I'm going to take the under.
0.5. I'll set
0.5, yeah.
I'll set it at 0.5.
He probably does one Dougie.
Okay.
Although playoffs is more of like a fist pump thing than a Dougie thing.
He might be really feeling it.
Is there a chance they come in flat and sad?
The Niners?
Yeah. After the whole, we're never going to have to travel again the rest of the season. We'll play the Super Bowl at home.
Oh no! Listen. I think they're going to come in hungry and pissed off, and especially if they have their guys back, it's going to be a circle the wagons game for them. And I respect them.
Do we know the stats on that? When's the last has a team ever played at home?
At home? No.
Like, has a team ever
The
made
Bucks in
Yes.
2020
The LA
won it
Rams.
at home,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and the Rams, yeah,
Yes, the Rams won and the Bucks won.
and the Bucks.
Okay, nice.
So, anyways, I guess the whole thing for me is Niners are going to be pissed off. They're a well-coached offense. Listen, you go head-to-head, Sirianni and Shanahan, who's the better coach? I don't know. Actually, Sirianni's had an incredible playoff record. They never missed the playoffs. Like, I know people like take shots at him and the whole thing, but he's done a really good job in his own way. Shanahan's a fucking tactician, dude. Salah's been there. He knows what this thing's all about. This is a veteran group. A lot of guys that might be thinking, "Hey, this is one of my last shots at it." So this isn't going to be easy. But I think it's an Eagle spot if they play to their ability on offense. And you got to limit the 3 and outs because San Francisco's going to try to possess the football. Philly's the best red zone defense in the league, or best offense in the league. That to me, San Francisco, if you want a shot at winning this game, you got to get some stops in the red zone, and that's a tall task because how good they are. So, and they will find Epps, and they will find Jackson. Shanahan's the type that will find the weak links. He's not going to be like one of these coaches that's like, "Oh, we didn't target Adoree Jackson enough. We didn't target Marcus Epps enough." Like, he's a coach that's going to find the weak spots. So
Last week was 13-3. Felt like it could have been 30-3. Seattle and San Francisco.
no, that could have been ugly. I think that spoke a lot to like the way Seattle played. Seattle's defense is fucking scary. And also Trent Williams being down in that game makes a big difference. Again, like look at the records. So I think it's an Eagles. I would say Eagles like 21-17. I mean the line's like 4.5. Like that's a result that wouldn't shock me. But again, I wouldn't be shocked either if it's Eagles 26-24 and it goes over. I gave out the under. Like I don't know what to think about the pace of this game. I think we'll know early. But if San Francisco comes out there and they can run the football, then buckle up because then you're going to have to play offense for 4 quarters. And that's a scary prospect for the Eagles because the Eagles have not played offense for 4 quarters pretty much all year.
Last in the league in 3-and-out percentage, the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's the worry. If you start doing that shit, I don't think San Francisco's gonna be just like how Buffalo last week. You trust Josh, but it's like a Superman thing. San Francisco's kind of the opposite of that. They got a really good football team with a really good scheme.
Yep.
And they're gonna figure you out if they can. So if this game's in the 4th quarter and it's a 1-possession game, yeah, it's gonna be a little spooky. So. Who y'all taking? Birds, you think?
Philly.
Birds? Anybody not taking
Yeah.
the Birds?
Go Birds.
Nate taking the Niners. I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but the Eagles have played with fire all year. But I'm not going to give.
Get that green off, Nate.
Yeah, I'm not going
Get that green off. You're not riding with the Birds.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They just keep. They just keep fucking.
Tell me what
Damn.
to do.
All right, 2 games left. Chargers in New England. I do like the Chargers here. I do. You just the rules are you're supposed to say, hey, playoff rookie, first playoff opportunity. Now, Drake May has been fantastic. I think Josh has been there a million times. He's a great playoff coach. I think Vrabel's been there a million times. At this point, like the one time they laid an egg, which honestly was so disappointing, was when they lost as the 1 seed. But he had Ryan Tannehill. Drake's a much better quarterback, and I'm not taking anything away from Tannehill, who's a good pro quarterback. I think Harbaugh is also a fantastic coach. He's been to the fucking Super Bowl, almost won it. These 2 coaches. This is maybe as interesting a head coaching matchup as there is in the playoffs. The first weekend,
100%.
This is going to be like a who's bigger.
This is an interesting game, man. I've been looking at this one. I was talking about with Noel a little bit, and like I feel like I'm overthinking it a little bit. But I don't know, man. I don't know how tested the Patriots are. And then on the other hand, on the other side of the field, you have the Chargers, who feel like every week they're just going through a fucking battle and coming out on
That's a
top.
big
And Herbo is just grinding. You know what I mean? So I just feel like the Patriots are just going to rip off some deep shots and score early on like something long, and then maybe it gets away and Herbert's got to throw the ball 50 times. And I don't know, not to say that the Patriots have a killer pass rush or anything like that, but he's been under siege all season, man, and that's not going to stop in the playoffs.
I think we're going to find out how
good.
I think we're going to find out how important Milton Williams is, and I suspect he's very important. And so far, we know that through their splits with and without him. I think ironically in this game, you think about how piss poor the Chargers have been in stopping pressure. The Patriots, since Williams has been out, have not been a great four-man rush team. And so I think Milton's presence is going to be felt. How much, we'll see. I think how you rush Justin Herbert's important. Okay, like one thing I noticed when I watch the Pats is they run games a lot. These guys on the outside, a lot of T's and that sort of thing, ETs. You got to be careful if you're the looper to Herbert's ball hand side. You have to run him flat. You have to be prepared for him to break the pocket. I think Herbert's legs are going to be big in this game. His hands busted up, but he's easily the type of quarterback that can run for 35, 40 yards if you end up in man coverage with your backs turned and you don't have the rush integrity. So that's very important. Here's where I think the Patriots have a big edge. And, earlier today I was like, I feel like the Pats love being in 6-0 line. And they're a top 10 team in usage there. And I get the idea. Well, check this out. This is crazy. Chargers 27th in overall success rate allowed versus 6-0 line looks. 25th rushing, 32nd passing. I think this is going to be a big spot in this game. I think the Pats are going to think, because Josh McDaniels has been in the dance a bunch. When you get into playoff games, you're looking for little advantages, little wrinkles that you've saved up. Like we're going to do this thing you might not expect. I could see that top 10 thing tick up, especially against a team that can really rush with 4. You want to neutralize those guys. You want to slow them down, throw a bunch of big bodies at them. They haven't been great in those spots. I also think for the Patriots, getting your guys back on the left side of that offensive line, communication is going to be key. You are at home, luckily, right? So I think a lot of that is we're going to have to earn it anyways because Minner's going to make us earn it. They're gonna play zone. They're gonna make you earn it. Well, let's bludgeon them. Let's see how physical they are because I do think there's a primal instinct between these two coaches to. Again, it's like the two biggest guys in the bar in Roadhouse or something where, like, Vrabel walks in and Harbaugh's like, "I'm gonna fuck him up, dude." Like, that's kind of what they are, man. And so I look at things like early in this game, the Chargers have not been great in the first quarter games defensively. Infamously, the Houston game recently where they give up 2 shots and all of a sudden you're down. And that ends up being the difference in the ball game. How do you start on the road defensively? Because they have been one of the, I don't want to say worse, but less capable defenses in the first quarter, especially relative to who they've been as a defense. So I think a key is Patriots backs out in the pass game against Henley, against Perryman, who's back from suspension. I think that's a really important part of this football game is hunting explosives to the backs, check downs. Pats are really good at doing that and taking the profit. That's what they do. They're as good as anybody in the league when it comes to hunting explosives, but also taking the profit and not doing the stupid shit that plagues some of the other arm-arrogant quarterbacks.
This might come down to which team will give up the red zone. The Patriots allowed opposing teams to score touchdowns in the red zone nearly 68% of the time, third worst in the NFL. Chargers have only converted 47.4% of their trips into touchdowns.
That's huge, man, especially a team that's talking about like, oh, we want to run the ball this week. That's what Harbaugh says. Well, bro, we'll see because Hampton, who's got an ankle, he might not play. Yep. I don't know if we got an update on him. But like,
he has not practiced this week dealing with that ankle.
How do you plan to fucking run the ball? We'll see. I mean, like, this is a This is a group you can run the ball on, but I don't know if I love the matchup after running. Nolan, I had you run the numbers.
Yeah, so we were looking at the Pats rushing defense, basically splits with or without Milton Williams. And so coming into this game, the Chargers, they love inside zone. They run the 9th most inside zone in the league, and then they run a lot of gap scheme too. That's your run schemes with pullers. They run a lot of power and then pin pull when you get the tackle or a guard running out on the perimeter. So Milton, if you just basically look at weeks 1 to 10, that's when he was on the field. They're basically average against inside zone. So that's the Chargers, again, their favorite run concept. So that seems favorable for them. But against the gap scheme stuff that the Chargers do really well, power, the pin pull stuff we talked about, the Pats fit that up. When Milton Williams is the game, the Pats fit that stuff up really well. So if the Chargers are going to be able to run the ball in this game, it's going to be that zone stuff, whether it's inside zone. That's actually what it's going to have to be because the Pats are really good against outside zone too. So it would be an inside zone heavy plan if they have Hampton in the game.
Beau and Chris, a lot has been made about the Chargers O-line, 32 different combinations, seasons most in the NFL. You're on the Patriots defense. What is Vrabel and the defensive coordinator? Are they saying, we can rush 4? Are we all right getting almost 4 and drop it in coverage?
Yes. I don't want to blitz Justin Herbert if I don't have to. Because if you miss that big son of a bitch, that tree will take off running, dude. He will fucking pick up 30 yards on you if you miss one tackle, especially if you man up, you play man behind the blitz. I think Milton early and often in this game needs to put his stamp on it because of what we talked about, who they became after he got hurt. Like, they need to prove that they can get pressure with 4. If you can't get pressure with 4 against this team, that's a bad deal. And I think in those meeting rooms, it's like, hey, we got to earn the right to rush the passer. So, like, Beau, fucking take care of business so we can slap hands and, Nickel can be out there.
Yes, sir. I will. Yeah, I'll run my ass to the sideline. The other thing about the different O-line combinations I think is interesting, and this might not be as much of a factor in the playoffs, but when you get all these different O-line, combinations, you really need to communicate because you don't really know who the fuck is going to be next to you when you have a super injured O-line like that. They pull guys out the P squad, they sign guys, they trade and get dudes for the Saints, shit like that. And so you really have to communicate, which can kind of lead to 2 things. If you get a smart player who's a vet like Milton Williams, I'm sure Nate, Chris, and I all did the same shit. You pick those calls up during the course of the game. You know what I mean? Like, B54 or whatever, that you're getting a backside scoop and it's going to be a run. You know what I mean? It's shit like that. But, even more importantly, the Chargers are playing on the road in Foxborough, which is a pretty loud stadium. And I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fucking, charged up. Or not charged up. It's going to be juiced up, loud as fuck. And so they really have to communicate. And, you can see like communication breakdowns on very basic blocks and, passing off games and shit like that from the Chargers that the Patriots are going to want to take advantage of defensively. It should be. It's interesting. It's you're really fighting an uphill battle when you have so many different O-line combinations, and it's even more necessary for you to communicate. So we'll see how that goes. That could be a big thing in this game.
Hell yeah, especially on the road for those guys. So
Texans at Steelers.
Is that who it is?
Points.
Say the second team again.
Because
Chris, you ever seen the movie The Long Walk? There's a lot of interesting comparisons that can be made to our nation as a whole right now. But I think for you personally, that might be one for you to look at. The Long Walk.
When they were like, "Hey, we're doing a high school Patriot games," I was like, "Oh, interesting." I just saw a movie about that. Also, the movie is basically Speed, the bus movie, but people.
With Hunger Games.
Yeah, it's like a mix of Speed and people. Has anybody seen The Long Walk? Raise your hand if you've seen that in here.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Read the book.
Pretty disturbing movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
My kids were like, "What was the movie about?"
Ooh.
I was like,
nothing.
You guys want to play Mario Kart? So,
Wait, what is it about?
So it's basically a group of people that have to walk. The world is so dystopian. The country's so dystopian at this point, which is really far-fetched. But it's so dystopian that people need entertainment for morale, right? And annually, they get a bunch of young men to walk. There's no women, right? I don't want to be to walk until the last person drops under 3.5 miles an hour. Everybody has to stay 3.5 miles an hour. If you go under 3.5 miles an hour, you get a certain amount of warnings, and they unalive you if you don't heed the warnings. So eventually, people are like just falling out on day 3. You know, one dude had to take a shit, and you know he took too long, stuff like that. One guy's leg just broke. It was crazy. It was the craziest movie.
He was grinding on that leg for a while, though. That
Holy
movie
shit,
was
dude.
nuts.
It was
dude.
heavy. It's heavy. It's a heavy watch.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy. You know what else? Somebody should have told some of those fucking kids the boots are heavy, dude. Get you a pair of Hokas. You're walking 3 days, dude.
Be comfortable out here.
Seriously, man.
I see what you're
So that could be me. That could be me. Yeah, give me a Hoka deal because I might be walking across the country. For those of you who are just randomly found our podcast, I said a couple weeks ago that if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, take it easy, everybody, every time they win, that fucking gets in my mentions. I don't even have social media anymore, so you're just talking to a wall. I deleted all the apps because I don't want to hear about the Steelers. They got to win the Super Bowl, okay, for me to walk across the country. And I will. I will absolutely do it. But here's a case for me walking across the country this week. Explosives. Okay, that I do think this game comes down to explosives, which is a weird thing to say about a game with a 39.5 point total. But when you look at like the Texans defense, now I think I want to confirm this, but Jalen Reed's coming back this week. They have had some
he's practicing.
That's great. Okay, they've had some relative issues at safety. I don't mean, and last week D'Amico was he was kind of like, hey man, we busted on some coverages, that sort of thing. I think they were watching the score, and I think they were selling out to stop the run on Jonathan Taylor. Like, this is a defense that is going to have Aaron Rodgers under siege, but conceivably, if you max up and you give him the time, like I'd be hunting those field flipping PIs. And the run game too is not something I would just abandon, right? And I wouldn't abandon my matchups in the middle of the field. I do think the game comes down to how you guard the seams and how you take away the quick options for Aaron Rodgers, right? You saw him hit the seams a couple times immediately when Kyle Hamilton was out of the game last week. Freiermuth, big in this game. Gainwell, Jalen Warren. Now, the problem with Gainwell and Jalen Warren is they should be spending a lot of fucking time back there chipping and rolled into protection. Because if you're not going to win on the edges, like, I don't know what to tell you, because this is a tailor-made matchup for these guys. You're down to a backup at left tackle who actually has done pretty well considering. I like his set. I like his set more than the starter. And then you got Fatanu at right tackle. And I think these are matchups you absolutely have to win if you're Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. But again, that will demand, ideally, your two best weapons, save for DK Metcalf. And honestly, Kenny Gainwell was named MVP of the fucking team. He was voted MVP of the team internally. It's a great success story. I always liked him in Philly. He's a really good player. If you can get the matchups on Toto and even Aziz in the middle of the field, or you can get them for a play or two to be undisciplined, bust the coverage, maybe you get a PI or two. Aaron Rodgers is slinging that fucking pigskin right now. That scares me a little bit. I don't think it's a game where they just sustain, drive the ball down the field. It's got to be big plays. And I think for Houston, they're looking at those big plays last week and saying, oh, the Steelers scared the dog out of you because they can fucking rush the passer and we don't have a great offensive line and they can stop the run with a light box. We don't have a real run game. But we think we can get some vertical type plays on them. We think we can take the top off the defense. And I agree. And the Steelers have played undisciplined on the back end at times. But Jalen Ramsey, who I thought, again, had bad eyes on some plays last week, he's going to be on his best behavior. These guys know that the way I guarantee you they're sitting there and saying, if you don't let them beat us over the top, like we're going to be in a 16-14 ball game, guys. So that's Pittsburgh's hope, is that holy water thing happens and they force a bunch more turnovers, because that's kind of what they feasted off of in their wins this year.
Yeah, it's a
Fucking
good
scary
thing though
game.
about the the Steelers taking shots at DK Metcalf and everything's great, but dude, Aaron Rodgers has been getting the ball out of his hands so fucking fast. Like, he knows that he's 45 years old. He understands that this is a fucking good defense, you know? And he, like, those edge rushers, man, he's going to, like, 2.6 seconds from snap to throw, which is the quickest in the NFL, and that's always kind of been Aaron Rodgers' thing. Dude, it's going to be like 2.2.
That's why he likes back shoulder fades, dude.
Because it's automatic.
You can still throw them. You can throw them without sitting there for 4 seconds, dude. Like, it's a 20-yard play, and sometimes if you get guys and they don't turn their, you know how it is. Oh, he didn't turn his head. Yellow flag. You know, like at home, you're gonna get Yins are gonna get some calls, and like, I just feel like it's one of those situations where you tempt fate with those things, and so yeah, I do think screen game. I think run game, I think quick game, but I also think the occasional let's take a shot here. I think that's their best hope. And if it weren't such a square play, I'd say, hey, this is a great matchup for the Texans. But it feels so square, doesn't it? From a gambling perspective, this is gambling analysis bleeding into the game.
The Sharps would say this is a Pittsburgh spot for the second straight week.
That's what they would say. And the Texans defense ranks first in the league in success rate allowed versus pass attempts within 9 yards of the line of scrimmage. What do I say every week? Just fucking tackle and you can beat these guys. It just feels too good to be true. It all comes down to how CJ Stroud plays, which is ultimately what the future of this franchise is going to hinge on. Because, you know, he's your draft pick, and last year we said, oh, he regressed, and this year I think he's fought back. Since that concussion, he's looked a lot better. I know Kansas City can go to the playoffs, but I thought going to Kansas City and working the middle of the field, some of those big plays with pressure in his face, extending plays, those are the things that it's going to take this week. Because, honestly, it's not going to be easy to score on these guys. If it is, I'll be like, oh, great. I don't have to walk anywhere. I'll be happy to be wrong. But I do worry that this is actually as good as I think Houston is, and if they were playing anybody else in the playoffs right now, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I like their chances. And I do like their chances this game. I think they win the game. But this is a muddy deal. Pittsburgh can kind of muddy it up, and they have a fuck ton of experience. You look at Pittsburgh, everybody wants to talk about how bad they've been the last 6 times in the playoffs. Never had an Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, am I nervous about walking across the country? No. But my Texans team that I've been stroking for the better part of 2 months, I want to see them win this football game. I think what do your eyes tell you? My eyes tell me if you tackle the Steelers, you can beat the Steelers. The Ravens didn't tackle last week. They didn't tackle. Part of me is like, hey, the Steelers are the team you were looking at in the first half of that football game. A lot of me is. But the other part of me that's scared shitless of looking like an idiot and walking across the country or having to deal with this another week is like, oh, holy water, Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers. But everything else about this game to me is like, Houston's, they were riding a fucking, how long is their win streak?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
9 games.
It's a 9-game win streak. You know, they
9 times.
You know, they should be saying the same thing Fax is, which is like, stay on that side. Like, we're fucking rolling. We're hot right now. They need to come in and think like that. Come in and think like, hey, we're the bullies here. We're not going to walk in here and get bullied because they're going to play Renegade, dude.
But they got that with Davis Mills, kind of, you know?
What, say what?
I mean, those wins.
I know. Isn't that even more empowering?
Yeah, but
We did some of this with a backup quarterback.
3 of them.
CJ kind of plays like a backup sometimes.
You think?
I feel like
You're a quarterback snob now, and all it took was 8 weeks?
No, I'm not a snob. I just feel like CJ. I just feel like CJ, like in big spots, he just, I don't know what it is about him. I don't know.
Which big spots, though, to be fair? Is there one in particular sticking in your mind?
Not right now.
CJ is excellent at protecting the football. The Texans turn the ball over just 6% of their drives, the best giveaway rate in the NFL. The Steelers they thrive on those turnovers on the opponent side of the field. They can set up their offense scores. So they're going to need
short field shit. The Indy game where they forced 6 turnovers. Like that's what I'm worried about, dude. And hey, Trent Brown over there against TJ Watt, that's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I also think like I'd run it right at him with that big fucking guy. I'm telling you, I had to set the edge on a young Trent Brown. I could set the edge on pretty much anybody from a 5, which means like without skating.
Mm-hmm.
I used to pride myself in, I'll hit the guy and then I'm not going to skate. Trent Brown, like, he's like a piano that's falling on you and you're just like slowly falling to the ground, dude. You just hope that you don't have to sustain the block for more than 3 seconds. So I think using Trent Brown to your advantage, getting physical over there on that side of the football, and if it is TJ Watt and he's their heart and soul, like, you got to run the ball at him a little bit.
What doesn't help,
even if it's not productive.
What doesn't help with the Texans running game is
you're telling me all this bad stuff.
Well, no, Jawar Jordan did not practice with the name, so it's going to be Woody Marks.
It's just Woody Marks.
Yep.
This is about as big a what if in the playoffs as there is. What if Joe Mixon was healthy?
Yeah.
What if Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater were healthy? I know we do this for every team, but like the biggest what if for every team, well, maybe we just stumbled into an interesting talking point.
The team just looks so different without him. Just if he's just in the lineup, like.
Hey, can I ask you all a question now that I'm thinking about things?
Go ahead.
Did Aaron Rodgers ever get close to being a 49er?
Yeah, right?
That's where he's from, so it was always rumored, yeah.
But it didn't happen. Maybe he knew about the elf.
He probably someone like him. He probably
because that's dead serious. That guy doesn't like Bluetooth.
But imagine him going to visit and if he felt it, if he could just guys,
like he's halfway through the meeting and he's like,
yo, the vibes are off. Maybe the vibes are really the elf.
He's like, sorry, Kyle, I gotta go.
Yeah, I can't.
I gotta catch a flight. What? We just started the visit.
Like I could feel it.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work here.
Is that a Gauss meter? What the fuck? Did you bring a Gauss meter to this fucking interview?
So tell me, if you were on the 49ers right now, like, would you be online?
I'd be over there.
Would you buy a meter just to bring in the locker room?
Fuck yeah, I would, dude.
And be in there today?
They're the ones who brought the thing up.
Yeah, just to be like.
It's supposedly an urban legend in their building. The urban legend in St. Louis, it wasn't an urban legend because there was like litigation, was that we were next to a radioactive dump. Like there was burning radioactive trash underground, right near us.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, so you need to look and see what's near your facility.
Jacksonville is right next to Maxwell House, so maybe they can make like the coffee.
Yeah, get you excited.
Caffeine.
Get you excited.
Inhaling that shit.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, what else is there to say about these games, man? We fucking said it all. Did we say it all? We did. Tanner's like, I would like to go home.
I think we said it all.
Well, one thing we didn't say. Nate, are you nervous about this? That that Josh Allen has played in 31 of 32 NFL stadiums. Do you know the stadium he has not played in?
Oh my God, he's gonna make it to the Super Bowl! Oh my God, because he hasn't played there. What a great little fact!
I love that voice, dude.
Wow! Why do you gotta wait till the playoffs to bust?
Yeah, why you busting that voice out, dude?
Yeah, San Francisco. Oh my God, let's do it! Oh.
That's a terrific Kermit the Frog.
Pretty good.
Oh man, the belt to ass is going to be so satisfying on Sunday.
See, I can't say things like that.
I know.
You know, it's like.
But you can.
But you wouldn't,
can't.
Chris.
After the 49ers,
you also wouldn't.
Dust your boys off. You can say whatever you want. Like, we all know that. So it's all good. That's what we're rooting for in here.
To be fair, you told us in November that the Eagles were going to collapse and lose the division.
I might have said that. But to be fair, too.
Hell, Ricky, I was high when I said that. You could be first, you be second, you could be third.
And to be fair, I'm the only person in this room and on this stream that still have 2 teams left.
That's true.
2 teams left.
That's true.
So
that's a new sensation for
I
you.
mean,
so
when we say things
enjoy
when
it.
they count, I mean,
Yes,
it's looking pretty good.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Gotta enjoy it, you know?
Enjoy it.
You could bring up, you know what you can bring up?
What?
That I was adamant about the Chiefs not making it to the playoffs.
And the Raiders.
No, that
winning
worked out.
division.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or the Browns going to the Super Bowl last year.
That was last year.
No, I know.
Last year, you know, a little early.
No, I know.
Just took a step back this year.
No, I know. I got to tell you, I mean, as good as we have been on the pick show, I'm feeling like I don't know which way is up sometimes this year. You know?
It's been
I'm
a
just
crazy
afraid
year.
to feel like Mr. Krabs in that meme this weekend. Like, there's a possibility that, like, what if the Eagles lose and the Bills lose in back-to-back situations?
What if the Panthers win? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, what are?
Well,
what
the
are
Eagles
we
are
gonna do?
that fucking really clears the path.
I know. I know.
Eagles are gonna go to the Super Bowl and score like 12 points and win. The Eagles Seahawks NFC Championship would be like,
Bro, the if the Eagles did that, the type of content we would get from AJ Brown would be generational.
oh,
Apparently, he's running around. He's leading the locker room today. The locker room's been the best it's been in weeks.
know
He's,
that's
he's
why
popping around to
they got
other.
rid of the positivity
Yeah,
bunny.
they killed
That's
that.
the best thing though, like because he's doing that all now, and then wait until they lose. All that,
Yeah.
all of that energy.
I love
that
how
you put
Fax
in
is
it.
taking victory laps right now on just Thursday night before
not-
the
Well, because he can't lose.
It's not a victory lap.
When you celebrate all the wins, but you say, well, you know, I did say the Eagles would collapse, but that, you know,
The Ravens, with our Super Bowl matchups that we made preseason, the Ravens were a real popular pick.
Yeah, I had the Ravens.
yeah, but you know what? It's okay. It's just
okay.
like, you know, it's like, it's so funny. I picked the Bucks to go to the Super Bowl because I didn't know how to call it. Like I didn't have enough faith in the Eagles, the offense, honestly, and I took a shot in the dark and it didn't work out. But like, how's that any different than the Ravens?
None.
We're all just fucking throwing darts in the preseason. That's why you should never listen to what we say in the preseason, dude. It's fucking, it's ugly.
Well, I
You
mean,
really
everybody in this room has one team
Just
In-
we don't need to.
I should hope.
in the Super Bowl, like of your Super Bowl picks.
Still
No,
alive.
Dick,
Yes.
dude. There are 14 teams that make the
What was your
playoffs.
Super Bowl?
Ravens, Eagles.
Birds.
Also had Seattle Seahawks winning the division. Had the Carolina Panthers almost in first.
Almost in
division.
first.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck. All right.
Eagles, Denver, shit, Houston, Buffalo, and New England in there.
Guys, we gotta go. Nobody cares. Goodbye.
Hey, we'll see you Sunday, 1 p.m. We're
Oh yeah, hey,
John-
we're doing a live stream where Dr.
I'll
Fax
be
is just
there.
gonna berate us
In
for
person.
3 hours. This is gonna be fun though. We haven't
Well,
done a live stream in a long time.
Macon, what's the weather in
see.
Charlottesville for the live stream on Sunday going to be? Do we have a Charlottesville for our game? Sorry, all right.
You're supposed to say it's raining. All right, take care, y'all.